One at a time, and we'll get the job done. Y'all know what to say. On three. 1, 2, 3.
And the home of the Jets.
Mr. Primetime.
Currently making peace with darkness.
Yeah, I see that. This is like an old school Tyrone call right here, where you.
I legitimately had sparks flying from my light like 10 minutes ago.
It's all the intensity that you're bringing to the table here.
Yeah.
So before we get started, thank you to everybody that's been joining us on our streams, commenting on our videos. We definitely appreciate it, especially during times like this, because it's definitely not easy by no means.
Just promise me one thing. When WFAN picks you up, just remember all of us little folks that were on this channel. Just one show every month. Just make sure you come back, you say hello, visit us, stop by. You're blowing up, man. Start calling you.
I need like 400 more. I need 400 more views, man. It's gonna be 400 more views on my video. That's all I asked for. No, it's wild, dude. But you know what it is? Like, I think everybody knows when things shit, when the shit hits the fan, they come to us because we keep it real. We're honest. We don't chase subscribers. We don't chase likes. I mean, if anything, it was evident yesterday when at the end of our show we had thousands of viewers. We're like, we're done. I don't care. Like, I'm fed up. I'm tired of it, and it's really difficult.
I think we both have the same mindset with it. I mean, we do this because it's enjoyable. And the second it stops becoming enjoyable, we're covering games that legitimately don't mean anything. It's like, what's the friggin' point? Obviously, the chat, all you guys, you make it worth it. Like, that's the whole purpose of it. But there's other shit we could talk about instead of the Jets. We could talk cooking. We could talk MMA. We could talk betting. We could talk baseball, Knicks, Yankees, whatever you want. Like, we don't need to talk about the Jets. It's pointless at this point.
And now it's like the day after this debacle of yesterday, lost 5 in a row. The season is over, and there are so many concerning things here, and there's so many red flags. But it kind of goes back to the offseason for me, where we had so many concerns with the coaching staff. This is Saleh, Keith Carter, Hackett, Downing. There were all these red flags there. And the thinking was, ignore all those things that we thought. Aaron Rodgers is going to save the day. We're only a quarterback away. We have all this talent. It's a galvanized group. Plug and play. We're going to win a lot of games. And the fact of the matter is the coaching staff is worse than we thought it was. And Aaron Rodgers is worse than we thought he was too. And he's not the leader we thought he is. And it's almost like nobody believes in anybody right now. It's a bunch of individuals collecting checks that doesn't care.
You could even start questioning individual talent at this point. Guys that we thought were all pros, like Sauce. I mean, he's the number one guy that's getting talked about right now. Like, where did he go? So yeah, I mean, obviously coaching is the number one thing, but the fact that you also have a massive change 5 weeks into the season, I said it a few weeks ago, if you were going to make that change, the time to do it was either at the end of last season or you got to ride it out. Trying to, make that kind of a change in a win now season, which completely took the locker room by surprise. The defense is going fucking backwards. They have no leader. They have no direction. They have absolutely nothing. So Woody Johnson, thinking that he knows football, tried to make a football decision, and it blew up in his fucking face.
Yeah, no, it did. It's blown up everywhere. But I think it's like they put so many eggs in the Aaron Rodgers basket, and then Aaron Rodgers wasn't delivering. And he's like, wait, if he's our only hope and he can't do it, we have no hope. And they're playing like that. And the coaching is horrific. The effort, the lack of leadership, the lack of accountability. And this was the defining moment of the 2024 Jets season when the interim head coach, who's clearly in over his head, this team has been preaching accountability, which I love. I love the word accountability. You know what it means? It means when you don't do good things, you're replaced. That's what that means to me.
Let him work through it.
No. I'm the common fan, though. I'm not the most intelligent person in the room. Never said I was. So when we talk to the coach that you fired Saleh for, say, all right, Greg the Leg, who should have been cut 3 weeks ago, maybe not 4 weeks ago, when we already knew, go back and watch the videos. We watched
You
Watch
called
video.
for it in preseason.
I'm like, this is a problem.
Yep.
Said it. You're negative, bro. You're negative. When the leader of your team, when they say, you know what? Is Greg, what's Greg the Leg's status? Well, we're gonna bring tryouts tomorrow. Well, then, like, great question. Well, you talk about accountability. When you say accountability, wouldn't this fall in that thing? No. Accountability is controlling the things you can control. So as long as you work hard and show up every day, that is okay with us. So it's not the fucking results. So for the Jets, it's like he shows up and he tries hard. Go team, go. You're fine. That comment is the perfect indictment of this team. The complacent culture, the lack of any kind of discipline or any kind of foresight, know what's going wrong. Bro, that was it for me. That spoke volumes. We're like, no, he's fine. He should have been cut last night.
Yep.
And he's still.
I said it after the Bills game. I didn't know how he could possibly address the locker room if it ever came to the point where Zuerlein cost the team another game. And now you're sitting here at 2-6, where if you had a kicker, you could be at least at minimum 500, if not 5-3. So it's not. But the thing is, we're willing to tank a win now season as Zuerlein tried to figure it out. When the whole point of firing Saleh, the big word that was thrown around was accountability. The guy was not holding anybody accountable, and you replaced him with somebody that's doing the exact same fucking shit. That's scared to make a move. Clemens penalties, he stays out there. Kinlaw penalties, he stays out there. Nothing changes.
There is no fear of being replaced. There's no fear of losing. There's no repercussions for being bad at your job at all. And that's been since Saleh's been here, because he's not. I'm not here to motivate players. That's your culture. Aaron Rodgers doesn't give two shits, dude. He doesn't care. None of these guys care. And it's obvious. Like they were talking about, oh, we got to have that energy. Devontae Adams, second play, whatever he did, he falls down. Nobody comes running, picking him up. Yeah, get him. So like they don't care. And the problem is it's not going to get better anytime soon. Like a part of me is like, well, we're doing the stream yesterday. I was like, man, you know what? This game is terrible. And I'm like, well, the Jets are probably going to sneak this one out. As bad as this sounds, I'm glad they lost to get exposed for the frauds that they really are. They're poorly coached. They're poorly managed. They don't know. They don't care. There's no leadership. They're going nowhere fast. The only thing this team is going to successfully do is win meaningless games and fuck up draft position. That's the only thing they're going to do, and be proud of themselves. Hey, we finished the season strong. Wait, the season that you're supposed to go to playoffs, win the AFC East, and go on a run, you're going to be happy with another 7-10. 7-10, they're going to celebrate it. That is going to piss me off to no end.
They'll be just good enough to ruin their draft position and 100%. Try to talk everybody into renewing their tickets and running it back for another term. That's what they're going to do. Yep. We've been down this path enough, and we know that Woody Johnson is not capable of hiring anybody serious that's going to turn this around.
And it gets better, though.
Their only selling point is trying to run it back with Rex Ryan or whoever you want to throw out there.
No, what they should see now, thinking is overrated. You know why I know that? Because the owner told us that. Thinking is overrated. But the problem is I like to think, because I hate losing, unlike the Jets. They like losing. I don't like fucking losing. Here's what I'm thinking, which is just my random thought, is now with this lame duck staff in place, it's actually even worse, because now you have a team that's worthless, and they're not going to make the moves necessary for the future. I'll give you a case in point, prime time, because I'm in that mood tonight. Here's an idea. Tyron Smith is a fucking liability. Nice guy, Hall of Fame player, not playing well. You know what I'd do? You're benched. Olu, you're playing. Alan Lazard, banged up. You know what? IR for the rest of the year. You're out. Corley, you're playing the rest of the year. I'd start wiping out all these dudes. I don't care about your contract. You're getting paid anyway, and bring in all young guys. If you don't like it, you're traded. Mike Williams, you're gone. Devontae Adams, gone. Reddick, gone. I'd wipe CJ Mosley, IR, out for the year. Dude, I clean it all up, because you know what? I don't give a fuck. This is done.
At what point do you have for not having a fire sale? If you're ultimately trying to bring in a new GM, which the Jets are going to be doing, why not load up with as many draft picks as possible?
Because you know why? Because Joe Douglas, because everybody in here is trying to save face now. Like, oh, no, we're not that bad. They're trying to save their jobs. They're like, oh, no, we're let's pretend we're going to try to win. It's over. The experiment is over. So now, if Woody Johnson had anything, he should have fired Joe Douglas today.
That's what really should have.
He should have.
Joe Douglas isn't running anything right now. He's not making any major decisions. He hasn't in about 9 months.
But he should be fired. Because so here's the thing.
It's all Woody.
What power now, this is even a bigger question. What power are you giving a lame duck GM in a lost season?
None. He hasn't had any power.
That's the whole thing. So then if you can make a good case, if somebody calls for Reddick, gone. Mike Williams, gone. Dude, I'd even consider some of these young players too. You know what? If you can get a haul for like one of your little core pieces that's not really playing well and's giving up on a team, adios, because this team's not one player away. You need a shitload of talent. You need a better culture and a better leader. So if that's the thing with Joe Douglas, you should have been fired today. Clean house. If Woody Johnson wants to act like the big shot that he is, then show us. Firing Saleh isn't the end. You got to keep doing it. Greg Gilleg should have been cut. Douglas should have been fired, and then you move on. That's what you should have did.
The fact that Woody's already stepping over Joe Douglas with major decisions like firing Saleh, trading for Devontae Adams, that tells me that Douglas already doesn't have any power.
Then fire him.
That's why I'm surprised it didn't happen today. I really am. I thought it was going to happen today.
There's no reason to keep anybody here. There's nobody. They're not like what few games they win from here on out don't matter. You're ruining draft position. Now it's about collecting as many resources as possible for the next guy to fuck it up because they're never going to get out of this hole. They're never going to get out of this hole ever, dude. They're not. Yeah. It's impossible. The players
3 years away from being 2 years away has been the motto of the show since 2015. Never changing.
The players we believed in, we can't even believe in them. You can literally question Sauce. You can question Garrett at times, Brees, right? Quinn Williams played all right.
Jermaine Johnson coming back off injury. AVT injured 3 years in a row.
AVT's got to go.
On 1-year contracts. Conklin, DJ Reed, are they coming back? You don't know what this team's going to look like in a year.
Morgan Moses, Tyron Smith, they're all going to be gone.
Here? Who's the head coach going to be?
But the other thing, to my point though, you know what you do? Max Mitchell, Carter Warren, guess what? You're going to start playing. So we need to know exactly what we have here. To have these guys inactive or we cannot playing when the starters are playing horrifically, like I don't care. And you know what? Aaron Rodgers, you're hurt, bro. You can sit too. Tyrod Taylor, you're going to play. I don't care because none of these guys are going to be here. So let's see what we have the rest of the roster, a true evaluation over the next however many games are left and move on. Why bother? The Jets are going to do is they'll probably win Thursday. Oh, no quitting this team. Nobody's buying in, dude. Nobody cares. The season's over. We know you're poorly coached. We know you suck. You're not going to put deodorant on it for one week or two. So now you got to blow it up, but truly blow it up. And it should start today. It really should have. But Woody Johnson's spineless now. He's probably going to go in hiding because now he's embarrassed even more because everybody's canceling their season tickets.
I don't think Woody Johnson's ready to take the L on this year or this whole experiment.
Dude, what does it take? You've lost 5 in a row. You're getting embarrassed.
I don't think he's ready to admit that it's a failure yet. He's going to ride it out and hope for some 4 or 5 game winning streak at some point at the end of the year so that he could try to sell that again in the offseason to get all his season ticket holders back.
Bro,
he needs something to hang on to try to sell.
You just lost to Drake May and Jacoby Brissett. You lost to one of the worst teams in football in embarrassing fashion. You got beat by the same play over and over. And what's even funnier is Bill Belichick in a little 5-minute clip on McAfee pointed out how the same part of the play got beaten over and over and over, and the Jets made no adjustments. This fucking winning streak ain't happening. And that's when you know the Jets give a narrative to certain people. Hey, man, the season's not mathematically over. We can still win 7 in a row, whatever. Like, dude, come on. No. That's just being tone deaf, dude. We know what you are. It's obvious. You can't sign nobody else. You can't trade nobody else. You should be sellers, not buyers. Own your L. You blew it. The Aaron Rodgers experience, the reason why they got Aaron Rodgers is because they already mismanaged the team to begin with. It was already a rudderless ship before that. You added a new rudder, and it was damaged.
What?
That's it. There's nothing else left here.
That was the 3rd try for Joe Douglas. He failed to build around Sam. He failed with his own draft pick. So the only other chance was to go buy your quarterback, go trade for your quarterback, and hope he could save you. And they failed.
And where they failed was from day one under Saleh, the complacent culture. That's where the problem was. This team, what it needs, which they're never going to find, is a legitimate big adult in the room that has prominent power in the NFL, an established guy that takes no shit from nobody, not a Tom Coughlin level dictator, but a guy that has respect where it's like, this is my way to highway. And my highway means you're out of here, not pat you on the back, nice try next time. No, you're on the fucking sideline. Next up, you're out of here. Period. That's what they need. The guy that the players actually fear that they have to do their jobs correctly or they're not going to play. Who is that guy?
And that's why it makes no sense. If Woody Johnson was actually thinking about making the move to fire Saleh last year, and you had a guy like Harbaugh that was available, where you could have bought your change that you desperately need, that's the only thing saving the Jets. There's not a first-time head coach that's coming here. You're not going to be able to develop a quarterback in this market. We've seen it. We've tried it. We've failed every single time. It's not going to happen unless you have that Bill Parcells type of guy. That's the only way. It's the only way.
Think about it like this. The Jets are a damaged, dysfunctional organization that everybody knows about. Everybody knows about it. If you're a top 5 quarterback coming into the draft, you tell your agent, I'm not going to the Jets, bro. I don't want to go because all they do is spit up, chew them up, and eat them. Like just spit them out. They're not. It's not going to work here. There's no young quarterback going to come here. So your only other option is what veteran guy are you going to bring in here? Get Tannehill off the shelf. Like what are you going to do? I mean, have Tyrod Taylor next year, but no young quarterback's going to want to come here. No young innovative head coach is going to want to come here. Ben Johnson's not coming here. Vrabel's not coming here. He's a Bill Belichick disciple. Belichick's shredding him every chance he gets. You're going to come that look. Rex Ryan's going to be a candidate because the Jets, Woody Johnson's like, you know what? The fan base can buy into this. And we know, and as much as I love Rex and his personality, people tend to forget the way he left this team, right?
But we also know that Woody Johnson always tends to look for the one thing that the team is lacking, right? So all those years we had the defensive-minded head coaches, which made them panic and hire Adam Gase. Oh, we need the offensive guy. Then we needed the CEO, the leader, so we hired Saleh. Now we're missing culture. We're missing passion. Here you go, Rex Ryan. Run it back.
But it's not. He's the only one willing to take the job. I'll give him that. Rex is actively campaigning for it, and he's saying all the right things. But the problem is, you're going to have a young quarterback. You're going to trust Rex, a defensive-minded guy, to develop a young quarterback and have a great offense, which was the problem when he was here. He took a good offense and destroyed it.
That's what we've seen for 15 years, not just with Rex, with Bowles too. 3 offensive coordinators in 4 years trying to figure this shit out.
Yeah,
it doesn't work. It doesn't work.
There is no light in the tunnel here. I don't see it. Like, and listen, and I'll tell you right now, I'm an enormous Aaron Glenn fan. I love Aaron Glenn ever since he's been a Jet. He's a rising star, great, and defensive mind, all this. I don't even want to see him come here. I don't want to destroy his career. Like, you just don't want to see it. Like, you got to think
off going somewhere else.
Yeah, there's no selling point with the Jets. Like, you're going to have a team that's proven they don't know how to win, an owner that meddles, and a lot of these pieces here are probably going to, if they're not traded, are going to want to be traded. Do you honestly think Garrett Wilson wants to stay here now? No. There's when he knows what's going to happen. New coach, new quarterback, guys. He wants his stats and he wants his money. He ain't getting it here, dude.
And not for nothing, the love affair from when they were both, him and Sauce, when they were rookie of the year, that's over. The fan base is turning on everybody at this point right now. What are they going to want to hang around for? Why?
Look at how many pieces are going to be gone. CJ Moses is going to be gone. He may be gone for the year now. He may be hurt with the neck injury. Yep. Like, look at all the pieces you're going to be losing now. So to me, it's like I go full blown, like blow it up. Like, I don't care. I don't care what the names on. Like DJ Reed, trade him and do him a service. Like DJ Reed deserves to get out of here. Go to a winning team and go win some playoff games, dude. DJ Reed put the time in. He deserves to get out of here, right? Like, why keep him here?
I agree. I just don't see the Jets actually being sellers. That means admitting that this was all a failure and Woody Johnson's too ego-driven, too stubborn. He's not going to do that.
Well, I tell you what, the stadium on Thursday night, if you're a Jet fan going to that game, you're out of your mind. I could not walk in there and give them a penny, not even pay for the parking, not even get concession. I couldn't do it. I honestly couldn't do it.
I listed every single one of my tickets today. I have zero desire to step foot in that stadium for the rest of the year.
They don't deserve it.
I see some kind of legitimate change on the field where the product looks different. I have no desire to go to another Jets game.
And I felt bad because Tailgate Joe reached out to us and he was like, listen, man, he's like, I want to come on the show. He's having a great tailgate, but he's donating money from the tailgate to a great charity. And I'm like, Joe, listen, man, if you tweet it out or if you put it on Instagram, I'm like, I would feel really bad having you come on the show trying to promote a tailgate when most fans don't want to go to the game, dude. They don't want to deal with it. They don't want to hear about, well, it's a good atmosphere. We don't want to go to the stadium. But if you do go to tailgatejoe.com and go there. But it's like, you know what I mean? Like, it's just not worth it. Like, you can't, I don't want to be there.
I have no desire to promote anything around the team right now. I have no desire to be at games, to go at games. I don't even want to talk about the team right now. I mean, there's so many other things we could talk about that would be more enjoyable, more entertaining. I mean, we're sitting at 2-6 in a win now year, talking about another rebuild, talking about draft position, next head coach that probably isn't going to want to come here. It's the same story all over again that we've been doing for 10 years. It's incredible.
And it's like, and you listen to WFAN this morning because you want to hear the feedback, and you hear one more Jets Uncorked commercial, them promoting their wine. It's like, what? Like you just can't get away from it. Like, you're just like, this is what they want. They want to sell jerseys. They want to sell wine. And like,
all they care about.
And their social media team's probably dying right now. But we got to put something funny out there. We got to put no, deactivate. Like, just end it. Like, just stop embarrassing yourselves.
It's unbelievable. And then you got Hassan Reddick talking shit about Belichick. I don't know if you saw that on Twitter.
Bro, Reddick is just trade him. Literally start trading everybody. I don't care if they win a game the rest of the year. It's about tanking now. We know what you need is not in the building. On any level, it's not there. You've got to completely start ahead. And I'll tell you this. I'll even say this. I don't give a shit if Aaron Rodgers wants to come back next year. I don't care. You know what, man? It's been fun. You're out too. Don't care.
That might be why we don't take, unfortunately.
Who wants to see him play next year?
I'm not saying anybody does, but I'm saying Woody Johnson again. He doesn't have anything to sell the fan base right now.
Do you think bring him back is going to sell me anything?
What else is he going to sell?
That's it. He's got
a new head coach with Aaron Rodgers.
He's got to own it.
He's
got to own this disaster. He's going to have a stadium that's going to be half full for 2 years because we don't give a shit anymore. We don't care who you bring in. What else are you going to
do? He just said we're getting ready to go kick some ass 2 weeks ago. You think he's ready to just throw in the towel on this year?
He said thinking's overrated.
That's true too.
So we'll bring the callers on because you're not listening to this bitch and moan for 2 hours. Yeah, Chris, you could potentially have Dallas, Eagles, Bengals, Jags, Bears needing a new head coach. Who in their right mind would choose the Jets over any of these? Nobody. No, because it comes down to
the bottom of the list. Another retread.
No, but think about it. Who do you want? You want to have Dak Prescott, Jalen Hurts, Joe Burrow, Trevor Lawrence, Caleb Williams, or nobody? What quarterback do you choose over them? Huh? A rookie? No.
We always pick the worst coaching cycles. As far as the other teams that are looking or the coaches that are available, we always pick the worst possible timing.
There is nothing to look forward to. It's not a likable team. Like, I was talking, going to the office today was a nightmare. Like, I want to just punch all my coworkers. I'm just so miserable because you know it's coming. Like, we've been here so many times before, but you knew what was going to happen. Hey, man, good game yesterday. I'm like, no. We lost to the Patriots again, man. I know we haven't swept them in 25 years. I know all the stats. We know it. We're embarrassed. We're a laughingstock of the NFL. I know. Right? You know it. Like, that's how you feel. And you just know it's not getting any better because there's not like one part of the team. Like who can you even say who your favorite player of the team is right now? Like, I love this guy, like Will McDonald, I guess, right? Is the guy you can look forward to.
He's been a good story for 5 weeks, but I mean, there's nobody that you look at. There's nobody I want to get a jersey of right now. There's nobody I want to post highlights of.
There's not one player.
You have guys that make individual plays, but the only thing I think fans care about right now is collectively the team sucks. So, like, what does that do for you when a player makes a play when your team's still losing? I don't give a shit about that. I don't enjoy highlights or anything individual. Like,
but there's not one guy that rose to the occasion where it's like when the going got tough, he's like, you know what, I want this. Like, you saw the will to win. No, they all just fell in place and watched it all fall apart. Use the same cliche quotes in the media. We got to be better. None of them care, dude. Like, there's like you saw something got at Garrett Wilson yesterday, but he's been kind of MIA. Like, they're all just like in the doldrums where nobody's scratching and clawing, fighting through it.
They all turn it on and off. Nobody's consistent. It's
terrible.
Lack of leadership. It's terrible, man.
So they're a rudderless ship with no end in sight. And the longer these guys stay in place, the worse it's going to be. Like, Joe Douglas should be fired today, tomorrow, whenever you want to make it happen. And I fear that they win Thursday. And it's like, oh no, we still got to believe. It's ridiculous. While Zerline's still the kicker, which is even more fucking ridiculous.
This is becoming one of the greatest embarrassments in professional sports history what the Jets are doing right now.
Dude, you know how much bad football we watch? I'm older than you. Like, I've had season tickets for the Kotite years. I watched 95 and 96.
I was going in the 90s.
I watched some of the worst football of my life, and I knew it was coaching. They weren't in shape, and they would blow fourth quarter leads. That's what they would always do. But you knew once Parcells came, they won right because they knew there was talent there. This is worse than that. It is on so many levels.
When you combine the 2 decades of no home playoffs, the 14 years now without playoffs, and how we're ending this season with all this on paper, all this talent, which maybe some of it we overrate, but the fact that it's going down like this with a Hall of Fame quarterback that we got hyped up for 2 years to watch, it's truly unbelievable.
John, you're crazy, man. Thank you.
Thank you, John. Really
liquor money for Thursday night. Please do one more stream. Thanks for everything, guys. You two are the only reasons we watch. Yeah, so first of all, that's very generous, dude. That's crazy, man. So thank you. Yeah, I put a poll on YouTube because we were discussing. I'm like, you know what? Thursday night game. Do you guys even want to stream or not? And I was like, everybody's like, dude, if we're gonna watch bullshit, let's watch it together because what else we're all like, as much as we say we're not gonna watch the game, it's the only game on minus the World Series, so we're all gonna watch it. So we might as well watch it together.
I say we turned it into like a Halloween party. If you're going to be on, you got to like dress up. You want to hop on for like 5 minutes. Like everyone shares their costume. Like we turn it into a Halloween party. We have some fun with it. We get bingo going.
We got to do bingo. Bingo is a must. I plan on getting hammered.
Yes.
All right. So we'll go to calls. We're going to be doing, don't trust me. This is where we flourish. times like this, or me in prime time, our creative juices get flowing. The Jets already hate us, so I don't care anymore. So I'm already on their list. It doesn't matter at this point. We're gonna go full blown. We got a lot of interviews lined up, a lot of good ones.
I feel like we need like an Adam Gase, Robert Saleh collab.
Yeah, of course. We've only interviewed Chris Johnson. We have to interview Woody Johnson because we'd be doing a disservice to our loyal subscribers, right? We can't, this is what we do.
Got to get the chain first.
I'll make it out of paper. Bunch of clowns. George, what's up, man?
What's up, George?
Ryan Tyson, what's going on? I had to be back after last week's disaster. I tried to warn you last week. I said they're gonna lose, but even me, as a pessimist, I didn't think it was that way, right? Blown assignments, guys running 15 yards. Jacoby Brissett. The second they had the delay of game on the 2-point conversion, I'm like, that's gonna haunt them.
No. Hold on, George. Let's stop. When they called 3 timeouts in the first quarter, that's when you knew they were screwed. When 2 minutes into the game, Mike Williams didn't know where to line up. You knew, and the scripted plays, the game was over.
Incredible.
So one time in my life, I want to see the Jets come out with a lead at halftime, actually score after halftime.
Oh.
Like Tom Brady, we have to give him credit. I hated playing against him, right? But every time in like a 2-minute drill, he scored before halftime. They get the ball back. They score after halftime. Game's over, basically, right? Or they have a big enough lead to do something. We can never do it. There's always something with the team. I just thought about today at work. Since Rex Ryan era, I think I had 3 moments where I was genuinely happy to be a Jets fan.
Yep.
Where one moment was the Eric Decker
touchdown,
touchdown against the Patriots. Second one was actually when we beat Aaron Rodgers at Green Bay, because I thought maybe we're getting somewhere, right? Like maybe, okay, we have a good young team. I thought it was like 4-2, 5-2, something like that. So it made me believe a little bit. And then actually when we signed Rodgers, because it's like, okay, maybe this works out. And now we tried Sanchez, Gino.
I'll give you my summary of this.
Yeah.
The Jets tried to build through the draft. They failed.
Right.
The Jets tried to build through the draft and free agency. They failed. The Jets tried to buy a championship. They failed. This is what they do. There's no way to build this team. They can't do anything. Literally, you could bring in Favre, Rodgers, Parcells, Belichick. It doesn't matter anymore.
The Jets tried to have a GM hire the head coach. It failed. The Jets tried to have the head coach hire the GM. It failed. The Jets tried to have their brother run everything, and it failed. They find every fucking way possible.
But I was thinking about it today. What is the solution? We can't fire Woody. He will never sell the team. He makes too much, like billions of dollars, right?
He makes too much money.
And then I was watching another like content creator on YouTube, similar to you guys today, and he was actually looking up the staff, right? Which I thought was interesting. And he looked up different teams like the Ravens and Niners or something like that. And we have 40 people doing like the tickets and everything. Other teams have 15.
Of course.
But like analytics, we have like 3 or 4. Other have 10.
Does that surprise you though? Woody Johnson's MO has always been about selling as many tickets as possible, selling as many jerseys as possible, and making money. He doesn't give it's not about winning.
I was looking for a brown bag at home. I couldn't find one. I wanted to put it on because we have season tickets, right? And going on Thursday because my friends are like, let's still go. I don't want to go because it will be empty. It's a night game. It'll be a shit show. They're gonna lose anyway.
Yep.
Why go? But and the renewal. You asked me last week about the renewal. I'm not like 20% increase for what? The team's horrible. They're gonna blow it up anyway.
But can you imagine? But just like this is to Jet fans that season ticket holders. It is the ultimate smack in the face where this is not a winning franchise where you've had all these home playoff games, playoff runs. They haven't made the playoffs in 13 years. They haven't done jack shit. They're in the midst of a 5-game losing streak, and you're going to say, not only do we want your money early, we're going to increase it. When you literally don't know who's going to be here next year, start with the general manager, coach, and quarterback. Like what? It's like buying a lottery ticket
3 times in the last 4 years, also. And like I always say, you're paying for preseason games up front that have no value. You're paying for at least 3 or 4 games every year in November and December that have absolutely no value. I could buy lower level seats and save money for the price I'm paying for my 300 level seats. Why would anybody give the Jets their money up front at this point? It makes no sense.
Makes no sense. And we said it. I talked to my friends. We're like, hey, let's not renew. Let's go to 2 or 3 games next year if they're any good, right?
On road trips.
We can have nicer seats, do whatever. Why bother? And you don't get anything anyway. You get like the free booklet, whatever. It's nothing. And 20% discount at the start.
Schedule magnet.
One question I have for you guys before I let you go. The question is, next year, right? Would you consider having Rodgers, keeping like Breeze, Garrett, whatever, and having Rex as the coach? That's my question I have for you. That would be the scenario.
I'll let Tyson go first on this one.
The thing about Rex is he could win with the win now team, but you'd have to give him an extraordinary coaching staff on offense because Rex is about ground and pound. Like you'd have to give him like a high level, almost like a Cliff Kingsbury as an offensive coordinator that that could just run his offense without him even looking at it. If you give him that, you give Rex like a 2-year window to win, and then he's gonna be gone anyway. Like he's not like a foundational head coaching piece for the Jets.
Would he win with that team? Would he win with that team?
He could probably get you in the playoffs with that team.
He'd give you a 1-year run, and then that'll be it.
Yep.
But like, do you want that 1-year Band-Aid, or do you want to say, you know what, rip it off? Rodgers is done. Like I honestly don't want to see Rodgers next year.
Is anybody really in a hurry to start another rebuild though?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I can't take the rebuild anymore.
I can't buy into another rebuild unless you're selling me on a Harbaugh or a Sean Payton type coming here. You are not going to sell me on another rebuild. That's going to take 4 years, and then we're going to be in the same place again, trying to start over with a new GM.
I think Rex is a Band-Aid, though. I don't think it's.
It is. Absolutely, it is. But is anybody again willing to start another rebuild tomorrow and have faith in the owner?
If you were going to do that, I'd hire him tomorrow. Then, like, you know what? Bring in Rex now. Let him finish out the year and weed out what he likes, doesn't like. Get Rodgers to buy him. Bring him back next year. And like the next year is truly your last year with Rex and Rodgers.
I'd be fine with that.
That's the only thing you can
one
really
and a half year test run with a veteran-led team. See if you could save it, Rex.
I just know they're not going anywhere. Like I'm kind of.
They're not going anywhere if they rebuild anyway.
It's just they're truly in like the worst area. Like it's saying a lot when the Jets have always been in bad spots. This is the worst spot they've ever been in because they're like in prime time. This is the conversation we had before Rodgers came here. Like you're swinging, you're taking a big swing with it's high risk, high reward, right? A lot of risk here.
You said they had to though. They had no other choice because they failed twice with Sam and Zach.
Well, they could have. I mean, obviously they could have went Derek Carr route, but he's been hurt, hasn't played great. But that's a guy who'd been here 5 years. The thing with Rodgers was he was coming off a bad year, but he was hurt. A lot of questions about his abilities, commitment, everything else. And a lot of times, like Dana White always says it with the UFC, it's like when fighters talk about retiring. Yeah. They should retire. That next fight never works out well for them. Like you just see like Tony Ferguson's been a mess, Donald Cerrone, all these guys. Like once they talk about it, TJ Dillashaw, it never works out for him. And Rodgers talked about it.
We all had it wrong. The Jets were never a quarterback away. I keep saying they were an entire culture away. It's not just Derek Carr or Rodgers or somebody coming here to save the Jets. I mean, the entire culture, top to bottom, owner to GM, head coach, players. It's a losing environment. No quarterback was coming to save that.
And what about Craig Dillek? Does he have something on Woody Johnson? Or what does he have? So he has to have some pictures of Woody in some situation.
But here's the question, though. That's got to be a Joe Douglas thing. Because I have a hard time believing that Joe Douglas goes to Woody Johnson and says, you know what? I got to cut the kicker. Woody's like, nope, can't keep him. Like, there's no way. This is the Jets' complacent coach. Like, they literally said it. No, he's got to work through it. It's like
doesn't Douglas say that the head coach makes all the decisions as far as the roster goes?
Then how the fuck do you mean all these guys and prime time? My drunk ass knew 4 weeks ago he should have been cut.
But you don't think Ulbrich has any power to make that happen? If he would have went to the podium 2 weeks ago and say, yes, we need to make a change at kicker, that's unacceptable. You don't think something would have happened? And that's what I don't get. He's got a 12-game test run as a fucking head coach, and he's going down the same path as Saleh.
Yeah, and I thought Ulbrich, at least, I mean, I never heard him speak that much, I guess, before now, right? But I thought he'd bring a little bit of a fire, kind of like it Dan Campbell.
Looks like he's getting ready to cry in the press conference.
He's worse than Saleh on the podium.
Nothing.
He looks like he's getting ready to cry, and it's just like you're looking at. He doesn't you hear about the guy you saw in Hard Knocks is not the guy's head coach. The guy in Hard Knocks like that brash, hard nose, like he comes in there, his shoulders are slumped. He's real timid, no anger, like. You know, he's like talks. I'm really mad. I'm hurt. You're hurt. Fucking what? Like you're hurt. Your feelings are hurt. You must have it around.
That's where I start wondering, honestly, about the Jets PR team and just like all the talking points and the notes that they probably throw at these guys before they go up to the podium. Because Niner fans love Saleh to death. I was in San Francisco. I was talking to them in the stands. Obviously, they question him certain things as a head coach, as a person, as a leader. They fucking loved him out there. And the guy that we've seen, I'm like, I don't know who this guy is. He's not a CEO. He's not a leader. And now you're seeing Ulbrich talk the exact same way.
And it makes me question too. I mean, maybe Belichick does it to fuck with the Jets, but he's praising Saleh a lot in his interviews, right? So if he's truthfully about it, then tells me something. If he likes him, then he's probably a good coach, or at least a decent one, right?
Belichick is just burying the Jets. I'm telling you, when you have a prominent head coach like that burying your team, all his disciples and anybody in the circle is not coming to the Jets. So.
And he hates Woody too, so I'm sure that's part of it.
George,
one last thing, guys.
Good.
I'm because my dad's from Greece, so soccer. Greece won a European championship in soccer before the Jets do anything in the playoffs. I know you're probably not big soccer guys. That would be like Alabama playing the NFL and win. It can't happen. You know what I mean? It can't happen. So this is where we are. I see this being alive. That Greece is winning something before the Jets is like, it's.
Have a great night, man.
Not gonna renew. That's it. You know. Thanks, guys.
Have a good night, man.
Yeah, I've gotten more messages over the last like 2 days about people not renewing season tickets. Like, I'm done. Fuck them. I don't blame them, dude. Like, there's literally no return on your investment anymore. There's just not. So,
no, I'm tired of having games that I can't even give away. It's pointless.
Johnny, I'll tell you what. First of all, thank you very much, man. Appreciate it. The yesterday was the first day that I didn't watch the post game press conference. I didn't watch the player interviews. I didn't watch anything. I got done. I went for a run. I'm like, I'm out. Like, I don't even want to hear it because, like, it's empty words. They don't mean anything.
I listened to some of the clips just so I heard what they were saying, but I mean, yeah, it's the exact same things that we've been hearing from day one about how they're take a deep dive at everything. It's you get tired of hearing the same talking points with no actions.
All right, we will go to 46 years in waiting.
That's me.
How you doing, Afram?
Same as you guys. Fed up with this shit.
It's ridiculous, dude. There is no light at the end of the tunnel. There's just not.
No, there isn't. As long as this guy owns the team. You know that. You can talk through this thing. There's no one coming here that's established. There's no reason to be here.
Nope.
One, he's not going to give you the power that you need to have. Okay? It's his way or the highway. Okay, he's going to meddle. He'll meddle on the cost of players. I don't want to pay this much for this guy. I don't want to pay for this guy. But I'll pay for this guy because he's a star and he'll bring in players like Rodgers. All right? He'll
make moves to sell tickets like Tim Tebow and everyone else.
Exactly, but that's it. His whole thing. He has nothing in his life to do except this team.
But there's not even like. But what's the strength of this team? It used to be like, oh, we have a good defensive line. That's not the case. The offensive line is not a strength. Like, where's the strength of this team?
Nowhere.
It's supposed to be your wide receivers.
They're going to be gone. Mike Williams will be gone. Devontae Adams will be gone. Lazard's going to be gone. You have Garrett Wilson and Corley. Think about like where we are and where we're going to be next year. A lot of these guys aren't going to be here. It's going to be an empty cupboard. That's why you got to trade them now and get resources and hope the next general manager can actually draft and not guys going to be inactive the whole fucking season.
Or do you let your GM work with what he has now and let him maximize the return on Garrett and figure out who he wants to try to keep and trade? I mean,
that's if Woody lets him. You know, it comes down to Woody. I don't want to release him. He brings in, and probably because you're paying $1.8 million to Greg the Lake, he says, well, that means I got to pay another kicker, another $1 million or so.
So that if you're going to be that cheap, then why go get Devontae Adams? Like they're penny wise and dollar foolish, right?
They were that cheap last year with the fucking backup quarterback. It was the same shit. They don't want to pay another backup.
Yeah,
fucking joke, man.
I'm so sick of this team. I'm literally sick of them.
Devontae sells seats and jerseys.
But he does. He didn't, though. You know what's funny is the minute they signed him, they all of a sudden had like an autograph signing, $170. Like, they were selling things. And I'm like, dude, I honestly didn't give a shit he was here because they weren't going to win with them. They were already a damaged team. You're putting Band-Aids on a gash. It's not going to help.
Yeah, he thinks he's going to get the publicity, but the publicity he's getting is how horrible they're losing.
Yeah, Reddick talking about things like, bro, you lost 5 in a row. You're irrelevant. You mean nothing to this team. You should be traded tomorrow. None of them matter.
I don't see any future with this team as long as this guy is the coach, is the owner, because he's not going to.
I wouldn't even mind seeing Tyrod Taylor play, to be honest with you.
I don't mind either. Why not? Spark up the team, maybe to say. But, there's no accountability. There'll never be accountability. Okay? At least you'd have even Rex got rid of players when he was head coach. You got to make a statement. But there's no statement here. It's
too late to make a statement. We're 2-6.
It was never. This culture is never to get rid of players. We got to be friends. Kumbaya bullshit.
Yep.
And we want to get guys paid, right?
Okay. Everyone, and I'm tired of hearing it that we should never got rid of Saleh. This has been the same thing from day one.
Yep.
Okay. Whether it's he stayed another game, would have been the same thing. He, like you said, this decision should be made off season, and get somebody established. But the problem is, no one established is coming here. You're not gonna go after a guy because you're not gonna pay him.
Nope.
Once he's got a set price. Let's get the young guy because he's not established. I don't have to pay him $5-10 million.
Yep.
Okay, simple as that. He won't cough it up.
Afin, once you made the decision to go into this year with Saleh as your head coach, don't you think it was like kind of reactionary at 2-3 when you're literally playing for first place to use that week as your week to make the move when your head coach was trying to hold somebody accountable on the offensive side of the ball? You didn't think that was weird? I said it the night.
He's weird. He's weird.
But they were no showing under Saleh too. They weren't going nowhere with Saleh either. It wasn't like he's
exactly.
a great coach.
It's nothing.
Yeah, but
this whole coaching staff.
Now you have Ulbrich still with his responsibilities as defensive coordinator, trying to manage all of the other aspects of this fucking. And he's overwhelmed. He has too much on his plate.
But you're delaying the inevitable. But it's like you're gonna wait 2 more weeks to fire Saleh, then Ulbrich's gonna choke. The damage was done. They have a poor coaching staff. That's the problem. The problem is this: when you have players that are literally telling you Keith Carter is not good, Hackett is not good. Last year they were telling you this, and you say, you know what? You guys know what you're talking about. Aaron Rodgers fixes all this. No, he doesn't. You have an incompetent coaching staff. That's the problem. That was never going to go away. Time management, terrible. Game management, terrible. Lack of accountability. Lack of leadership. That was never going away. It could be Saleh, Middleton, whoever the fuck it was. They were going to lose regardless.
And who fought for Keith Carter to stay?
Oh, I have no idea.
The guy who got cut. The guy that was fired. That was his boy. It's a good old boys club. Keith Carter's good, blah, blah, blah. That's why everyone says he's bad, but you know better, and it costs you. This offensive line looks, with all these additions, they look like crap.
Because they're not playing hard for the coaches. They don't respect their coaches. They're not playing hard for them. And the thing is, like, it was Saleh's defense. They weren't playing hard for me. They were getting embarrassed there too.
Yeah.
It's fundamental football, too. It's not even like I saw the one analyst, Orlovsky. They're talking about the tape. He's like, this tape is embarrassing. Like, these guys don't practice. He's like, what did they do in practice all week? Brian Boldinger. He did a clip. The Brian Boldinger tip is the most telling indictment of this organization ever. Where you walk away and be like, dude, they don't practice. They clearly don't know what they're doing on any level of this team.
And I saw Rob Carpenter was saying Devontae Adams was running open on half his routes and Rodgers wasn't even looking his way. Nope. Doesn't make any sense. That's why you brought him here, because you have the chemistry together.
Right, but he's at the point where he's seeing guys getting through. He's just want to get rid of the ball. What about the one he just hits it right off of Tyron's back? I don't get it.
Well, the other thing too is, and here's the other problem I have: when you have a lame duck staff and an interim head coach, where it's pretty obvious that Aaron Rodgers, we talked about it yesterday, prime time, his mobility is extremely limited based on the injuries he has, knee, hamstring, whatever else. He's stuck in the pocket and can't really move around. At some point, somebody in the room is going to say, "Listen, man, we appreciate you trying to gut it out for a team. Probably your last year in the NFL. We've got to let you sit down for a week or two because you're killing us. Yes, you have arm talent. You can't move. So sit down for a week. Sit down for 2 weeks." We kind of all assumed when he played, he's going to miss a couple weeks anyway. Didn't we all say that? If we can get like 13 games down, we'd be cool with it. Now it's time, you know what? Take a seat, dude, because you're killing us.
Yeah. This is a perfect game for Tyrod to come in.
100%.
Yeah, short week.
They're probably scared he's going to play well and hurt Aaron Rodgers' feelings.
Yeah. Yeah. It's all about feelings.
Mike White.
That's
all they worry about.
Just making bonehead mistakes. This guy just has nothing else to do. He has no say. He's not like he's running Johnson & Johnson. He's just got inheritance, and all he has is this team, and he knows better, and he knows nothing. And it just, everyone, we should, we'll get this guy. No one's coming here. Nobody's coming here because they know who this guy is. This is not, secret. Everybody in this league, professional, knows within their own realm who this owner is, and no one's coming here with.
Well, no, it's you want to get paid, obviously, but you want to win. You want a chance to win. The Jets don't give you that opportunity. They'll give you paid.
Exactly.
This is where the players come to die and get the last big paycheck, and then they get out of here.
Up to die, yeah.
But that's it, because when you come here, Tyron Smith get that last huge payday. He's out of here. Mike Williams got his payday. He's out of here. This is it. There's nothing like Reddick. What is he doing? Nothing.
No.
You wonder who's running the search and running everything if he ends up going overseas again. Then where are we at? Is it Christopher Johnson running it? I mean, who's running the show then?
Peyton Manning. We'll make the calls to Peyton.
They'll hire some consulting firm, just not Corn and Ferry this time. That's all.
Yeah. Instead of hiring one guy to be president of this club, who's a football guy, and let him hire the GM and the head coach or whatever, follow the chain, and let him make all the decisions. All you have to do is write the checks or give me the budget, and then I work with that, and then stay out of it.
Well, what's interesting. What's interesting too is they didn't replace a lot of guys that left too, and like Alexander left and Hogan, all those guys. They kind of left a lot of his spots vacant, kind of like gave some guys promotions and left like Joe Douglas there. So like Ned right there was saying, you know what, this is like a make or break year where these guys, we're not gonna hire nobody because they could all be gone next year anyway. So
it's right. You don't know what's going on. It's all comes down penny wise, dollar foolish with this guy. It is. It's. I hate to say it, but it's I'm hoping there's a silver lining, but I don't see it.
Nope.
Okay, I don't see it, and it's sad. Okay, it's just sad because you say there's no repercussions. The only repercussion is the fans. The fans get hurt. Okay?
Well, now it's a time for the fans to speak up, and the way you speak up is with your wallet. You don't buy tickets. Period.
No. I wish that stadium is all Houston Texan fans.
Me too.
I wish it's empty.
But he would like it. He would like it because he's making the money.
No, the more embarrassment, the better. Like they deserve to be embarrassed. Woody Johnson needs to be embarrassed.
The problem is, and a lot of people keep saying it, like not going to games isn't really taking a whole lot of money out of Woody Johnson's pocket. They're still making millions off the TV revenue and everything else. Like not going to games, if anything, what it's going to do is just provide embarrassment for an owner that cares about headlines and social media. Like for me, that's the whole purpose of it. MetLife should be a ghost town Thursday night for that reason.
And at that point, the league needs to step in and talk to him. Okay? Just like Pete Rozelle did with the Giants. They were becoming an embarrassment. He said, look, hire this guy, George Young. And Mara did, and that changed the whole culture around. Okay? That's what they need. They don't have a Pete Rozelle anymore. Okay? I don't think what they have now, he cares, as long as he gets paid. But that's you had this is eventually, they only, or you're hoping that he does a racial slur and they force him out of the club like they did Schneider.
Don't make me start looking. I'll start looking for UK things about what he does.
I'm telling you.
Didn't Jamal Adams say something like 4 or 5 years ago?
Well, listen, bring him back in and then
like 3 days.
Now the Jets season's over, I can start finding things of Woody Johnson. I can start looking for these things on the internet.
Hey, that's it. And just put it on the on
check the ingredients of Johnson & Johnson products.
Get somebody's burner.
No, you got to catch him, doing something or saying something stupid.
We'll go to one of his charity events and feed him some like cocaine or something. Get him
let him say something stupid.
Anybody good with like AI voice technology? You can like work a video or something.
Oh, yeah, you just have to get it. They do it now, but I mean, you got to have to prove it. But I'm just saying I don't see anything. Everyone say get this guy. No one's coming. Nobody's coming. You're gonna get some.
Have a good night, my friend.
Be well,
Be well, Ephraim. What's up, grumpy old Jet fan?
Grumpy as hell. I won't go too late tonight, but I've gotten to the point with this that I've gotten to where I was in the late 70s around the Kotite era, which is I don't really care about the team that much.
Mm-hmm.
If I watch a game, it's casual. A lot of times I'll listen on the radio, so they don't have TV, so they don't get me as a viewer on the TV or whatever. They can even figure that out. It's just, it's really at the point, it's a total clown show. And you're really in a hole. And I've been thinking about that. And there's a couple of things that scare the hell out of me. Not that it matters, because there's nothing I can do anyhow. Right. It is Woody Johnson. And you got to keep in mind who he is. Woody Johnson is a grifter. His whole thing is about as you point out, selling tickets, selling jerseys, selling merchandise, selling wine.
Headlines.
And that's all he cares about. That's why he's got a president who's a bloody marketing moron.
Yep.
You know, it makes absolutely no sense. And he thinks he's a football guy. And you can see where it changed. It changed right after 2010. Woody started getting more involved. Before that, he wasn't. He didn't feel comfortable. Now he thinks he's a football guy. Jerry Jones is like that. But Jerry Jones, I hate to say it, is still much, much better than Woody Johnson.
And what happened in 2010? The Jets started their first year in MetLife. They were struggling to sell PSLs. They lost half their fan base because of that. And Woody started panicking, trying to make moves because of that.
Yep.
It's basically what he does. And what scares me, I was thinking a lot about next year. And honestly, the only thing I can see, I don't think it's going to be a rebuild. Because if he does a rebuild, unless he makes a big splash and gets like a really big name coach, which we know Woody is not going to do, because a big name coach is going to say, I'm running the show.
Yep.
If he does get a coach, it'd be somebody very desperate.
Yeah, a puppet.
And, you know, what I think Woody is going to try to do, this is my honest opinion, I think he's going to try to get Rodgers to agree to come back, because Rodgers still has his ego where he still wants to try to win something, right? Rodgers has an excuse because right now he's so battered. He looks like Joe Namath his last couple of years with the Jets in the 70s. He really does. He's got no mobility whatsoever. As a quarterback, he shouldn't even be playing. Honestly, if their medical staff was honest, they'd say, you're not playing. This is insane. Let Tyrod Taylor take it. We'd probably win more games with him. I honestly think we would if he doesn't get hurt.
So if you bring back Rodgers, and who's the coach going to be?
Well, this is going to be the interesting part. Does Woody pull something in his deal with Rodgers saying, I'm going to let you choose the coach and GM? And I know it sounds weird, guys. I know it sounds weird, right? But you honestly think that Woody Johnson wouldn't do that? He's desperate. He's desperate to sell the return of Rodgers. Now
He just did 2 years of this shit.
I know, but he's stupid. You know what? He's stupid enough to think that the fans are going to buy it. Woody Johnson is also going to give every excuse in the book. You asked about why he hasn't fired Joe Douglas.
So Aaron Rodgers.
Because at the end of the year, he can fire him and say it was all Joe Douglas's fault. That this whole thing with the culture was his fault.
You cannot sell me Aaron Rodgers next year. You can't.
Well, no. You know what the problem is, Tyson? You, PT, most of the guys on this stream, especially anybody that's been around this team any length of time, Afram, we know what we can see what we're seeing. But you've got a lot of idiot people out there that are still making excuses for a team, which is pissing me off. If I hear one more person saying, well, if Zerline hadn't missed those kicks, blah, 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 you know what? This should be a team that's kicking the shit out of other teams.
Yep, the poorly coached.
The shit out of Tennessee. We should have kicked the shit out of New England. We didn't even do it the first time. We should have beaten the Vikings. The Vikings are good, but they're not that good.
The Broncos.
Well, we don't even discuss that. And even against San Francisco, they're not as good a team as, Saleh made them out to be. And now, so he fires Saleh and he's wondering what happened. The culture's still there. Saleh created this culture, and a large of it, I think, is because of Woody. One thing I'll never figure out with Saleh is he was a fiery guy at San Francisco. He was a guy who needed a coach to keep him off the field.
Yep.
He was that crazy. And all of a sudden, he turns into like every other coach since 2010.
Look at Ulbrich. Ulbrich on Hard Knocks was a fiery, animated guy. He's a shell of himself in these press conferences. Like, I understand he's more professional, but dude, it's like, how do you feel? I'm hurt. I'm angry. Like, what?
They're all personality. They're personality deficient. Look at all the coaches we've had since Rex got fired. Bowles is personality deficient to the nth degree. Gase is like autistic.
Bowles has turned it around, though. He's been winning down in Tampa Bay.
Yeah, he is, but you know what? He's got a good team. I mean, good for him. They're not the greatest team in the world, and they do show his faults because they're very cautious. They make stupid mistakes. And someone was asking me the other day, well, what are you looking for in a Jets game? I said, you know what? I just saw something the other day. I think it was Carolina. I forget who they were playing. And a Carolina player was pissed off and went and yelled at the opposing coach for running up the score.
Yeah, Sean Payton.
I'm sorry?
Sean Payton.
Yep.
Okay, for running up the score, right? And I'm sitting there thinking, like, you know what? I want the Jets to be a team where people are yelling at him for running up the score instead of having a defensive-minded coach that the minute you've got a lead, we're going to go into prevent mode.
And here's a crazy idea. They should have hired Sean Payton.
He would never come here. Payton has got too many brains for that. He would never come here. He's too good a coach. I'm looking at it. So, if he doesn't manage to get Rodgers to stay, right? Obviously, a lot of people, we got Travis. Come on. The guy was an FSU quarterback. He hasn't played. Who the hell knows what he is? So who's he going to hire? Woody does not hire experienced coaches.
Nope.
He doesn't.
I don't
And as
think
much
I
as
don't think John Gruden's an option, man. With all like the emails and like all the issues he has with the NFL, I don't think anybody hires
Gruden, you know what? First of all, Gruden is being paid $10 million a year to do nothing for another X number of years. So he doesn't, and it's not about the money. And he wants to go to a winning team, and he knows what Woody's like.
and he wants a quarterback. He wants a quarterback he can work with.
Gruden is not going to sit there and be Woody's butt boy. And that's what Woody wants.
Yep.
So he's going to try to find some coordinator, and it's not going to be Johnson. It's not going to be Monken. I guarantee you it's not Todd Monken. I know his brother. He's not.
Nope.
They're both really dominant people, and they've got a good gig. Kingsbury couldn't. He was a head coach. He sucked.
You got to give him a great defensive staff.
He's a great offensive coordinator. He's a terrible head coach. I don't think he could do it either. And again, we go back to Rex. I love Rex. He's fun. And at least we'd have that. We'd have a fun coach. We'd have somebody like a Dan Campbell, at least is fun. But you know what? He had his limitations. You guys are right. He had it with personnel. He had a blind spot a mile wide. He didn't care about the offense. He thinks offense is there, so the defense wins games, and the offense is just on the field, for some of the plays. I mean, he really has that mentality. Now, he himself said,
2025. Here we come.
He claims he's excuse me, he's changed. That, he's learned that he has to rely on his coaches, that he can't do it himself. He also, and maybe has learned something being a broadcaster. The one thing I will say is, you remember when Dick Vermeil came back?
Yep.
And everybody said he's been out of the league too long. He doesn't know anything. Dick Vermeil was watching these games, and he learned, because he came in. Of course, he won 2 Super Bowls with 2 different teams. It's possible. I just don't think it's going to work.
It may be the Jets' only option, which is a sad thing.
Well, if it's going to be an experienced coach, yes, he would jump at it. But he also knows Woody, and I don't know if Woody's going to hire somebody that he once hired. It's the same way. If you really had a half a brain, if you wanted a GM,
you honestly think Woody gives a fuck about that? The only thing Woody cares about is he's sitting right now. Season ticket sales are going to shit because nobody's renewing. So now
like, Rex might help. There's a good point there. I sat there thinking about. I said, okay, who else would a moron like Woody Johnson go with? I could see him hiring Urban Meyer, which would be an absolute disaster area.
Oh, that God help us.
And then the other one that really scares the hell out of me, between you and me, guys, it's if Dallas fires McCarthy. Woody's stupid enough to hire. McCarthy is the last person in the world you want. And unimaginable.
That goes with your idea if Aaron Rodgers is picking the coach. There you go.
Could you imagine?
Well, yeah, but he hates McCarthy. That would blow out Aaron Rodgers. I'm saying if Rodgers doesn't come back, what's he going to do? He can try to go for a college coach, but you know what? I don't see it. He could try to hire a Jimbo Fisher who's sitting on his butt, but he's making $10 million a year. He's not going to come here. So it's like, it's a real Hobson's choice. We don't have a quarterback in the room. And with Woody, honestly, the NFL is not going to step in. They don't care. It may be the best market. The Jets being a clan show, actually, they love that.
Yep. No, the NFL doesn't care. They don't mind. You're just a team that's bad team. You're the Carolina Panthers now. They don't care.
They don't care because you know what? They know they're going to still get rate. They based on TV revenue. It's not going to hurt the NFL's revenue at all. It's not going to hurt anything. So they put the Jets. On 1:00 on a Sunday. We've got the Z Team broadcaster, and they don't care.
Yep, that's right.
And I just don't see it. The only thing with Woody, there's only a couple of options that Woody could eventually wake up and say, you know what, this isn't working. Like friggin' asshole Dolan, who's very similar to Woody, finally woke up and said, I got to let these guys run it with both the Rangers and the Knicks. Yep. Let them run it. And let them work because he screwed it.
And Woody said he was going to be doing that, 3 years ago when they changed the power?
And he didn't. That's the thing.
That GM owner, and how'd that work out? How long did
I remember we sat there and saying, he hired a GM. The GM would report to him. The coach would report to him and to the GM, and that's it. And he's going to run things. And, of course, we knew damn well it wasn't. It also puts the lie. We know what happened with Zach Wilson. We know what happened with all these years. This was Woody. I guarantee it. Now I'm sure of it. It wasn't before. Now I am.
Yep.
There's a couple of things. People saying sell the team. He's not going to do it. It's too much of his ego. He wants to be the big shot owner because that's the only thing in his life that he's ever had. Right.
Well, now the thing is, he's finally being exposed for the fraud that he is. Walking around with that chain, saying thinking is overrated, acting like he's accomplished something. He accomplished absolutely nothing. And now he's taking away Joe Douglas's balls in a glamorous fashion that's putting a bigger bullseye on him.
But you've got to remember,
exposed, dude.
He's not going to, his ego, what he's going to do is he's going to do what a lot of people in his area, in his realm of life do. He's going to blame other people. He's going to say, I did my best. I gave him the best players we could. We went out and got Aaron Rodgers. We went out and got Devontae Adams, and they couldn't make it work. So it's all their fault, meaning the coaching staff, the GM. And he's going to do that because in his own mind, that's how he makes himself feel important.
Yeah, but
he's not going to sell the team,
man.
right?
We've all see through it now. Like it's not.
He could not. Now we could hope, and I know it's a terrible thing, but he's not a young man. You can hope he dies.
Oh my God.
I'm serious,
we gotta let you go, man. We can't.
No, seriously. I'm just. I'll go in a second.
We can't do that. We can't. Be dies, man. What are we doing here? What? We can't. What are we doing?
Oh,
we had Afram on to get him caught in some kind of like we had to poison him and make him do something bad, and now he wants him to die. It's a football game. God damn.
We're not that bad, guys.
Jesus. I'm a mental health advocate. I can't. What are we doing? Holy shit. He's like, no, one more point. No, I was getting a point. Let's leave it at that. We're good. We're trying to salvage what little ratings we have left here. Yeah, exactly. We're demonetized. There it goes. Jeez.
As soon as I heard him say, well, he's getting up there in age.
I was like, oh, maybe he gets, Jesus Christ. I'm a Buffalo Bills fan from West New York. I follow you guys because my best friend's a dire Jets fan. Well, we appreciate it, Matthew. First of all, thank you for the super chat, man. We appreciate it. We've been getting messages from like Bills fans, Dolphin fans. It's like, woof. They feel everything
fans can definitely relate. They went through it for a while before Josh Allen.
Yep. What's up, man?
Well, that's a tough act to follow.
No death wishes, please.
No, don't worry about that with me. See, I just wanted to mention the difference from going from Gase into like Robert Saleh, like that whole rebuild. There was light at the end of the tunnel. We knew that it was getting all blown up. We knew that there would be a rookie head coach, rookie quarterback. There was a future. I mean, we didn't know that it was going to turn into what it's turned into, but I feel like you're kind of at the point where you can't rebuild right now. We have dead cap going into 2027. Like there's too much right now to just start over. Now,
so
I get it. You can't keep going on the same path that you're going. Like maybe Rex is the guy. I mean, do you have to give? I don't know this. Do you have to give a head coach 5 years? Does it have to be a 5-year contract? No, right?
But they usually want stability. They want a chance to implement their program and see it out. A lot of teams, it's going to take you 1 year to get your implemented. Second year, they kind of like you build on it. It takes at least 3 years, man.
Yeah, I mean, well, Rex might only want to be here 2 years. Like, I don't know how long he wants to coach. He sees the team that he can win with right now. And that's what he walked into. He walked into Eric Mangini's winning now team. And then slowly but surely, when all those contracts came where they couldn't pay everybody, he had no talent, and then he was out the door. So in a couple more years, you're not going to have Rodgers. You're not going to have Devontae. Not going to have Garrett, Sauce, Brees, all these guys. Once that happens, that's when the rebuild starts. I think it's got to be like 2027.
What?
I see a lot of people.
2027.
Look at how far this dead cap goes into.
Bro, what is your foundation for next year? They have no defensive line and no offensive line. That's already a rebuild in itself.
Yeah, I know that, but
so you're going to double down and put more like you're putting Band-Aids on a Titanic. At some point, let the boat sink. It's sinking. I'm letting it sink this year, and I'm buying a whole new boat next year and trying again. I know it's not going to go anywhere.
Oh yeah, no, it's absolutely not going to go anywhere. I'm not. But seriously, like we don't have a ton of cap space. Yeah, look at the players that we have now. They're Garrett Wilson, 3rd year. Like all these guys, 3rd year, that 2022 draft class. That's the only thing that we really had to hang our hat on.
How many of them are going to want to stay here? Like, could you see Garrett Wilson end this year asking for a trade? I could.
Yes.
So, to Liam's point, your only hope of getting them to stay here is if they experience some level of success before their contracts expire.
So when's that going to be?
Rex over a year and a half can accomplish that. That might be your only chance from preventing a full-scale rebuild, which at some point, though, is probably inevitable. I just don't see Woody Johnson, like I said before, admitting failure on all this. He's going to try to salvage whatever he can. He's going to try to sell Rodgers with a new head coach next year because that's his only option because nobody else is going to want to come here. Rex is probably going to be the only one that's willing to take the job, and that's how he's going to sell it.
If you're a free agent, say I'm a free agent, which I am. I'm on the market now. I'm going to become a Lions fan because I hate this team. But If you're a free agent and you're hitting the market, let's go to the Jets and play 1 year under Aaron Rodgers, and then after that, I really have no idea. Why would I sign that contract? I'm not gonna sign a 1 year deal. I want a 5 year deal. Who's gonna be my coach and my quarterback? Well, yeah, I really don't know. We have 1 year though. We'll know. No, I'm out. I'm not going there.
What other free agents can you bring in? They have no money. They're stuck with this is the bet that they made for the next couple of years.
You took a 2-year flyer and it didn't work out. You own your disaster and you don't triple down on it. You own it and blow it up. Why you're literally adding Bendy to a Titanic.
They have $50 million in cap space next year. Plus, I'm sure whoever the GM eventually is going to be is going to unload somebody like a Quinnen Williams or whoever. It's not like they're not going to have money.
And how? They have $50 million in cap space. How many free agents are they going to have?
Exactly, they're going to have 1 million holes to fill.
There's no spending spree next year. You're going to get all mid-tier guys and lower-tier guys just to fill out your roster because your depth is shit and your overall talent is shit, and they're going to be gone.
And that's not necessarily a selling point for a first-time head coach. You got
or a free agent.
It's got to be no. It's not. This is the bet that they made. They're gonna have to land this for the next couple of years. That's what I'm saying. Like this, the moves that they're making now are gonna affect us for the next 3-4 years, possibly. Dude, it's not just like it's not like you blow it up right away.
Hold on. When we discussed Aaron Rodgers, we knew that move was gonna have long-term repercussions, but we were selling our soul for a Super Bowl championship. That's what we did. We sold our soul and it killed us. So guess what? Now we got to own the mistake. You tried it. It didn't work out. Now it's it. You knew going in what you're getting. It's either swing big and hit a home run or strike out. They struck out like the Yankees are.
And now we have a quarterback that came in with one leg and like, here's the thing, like with Jordan Love, it was a first-round pick. You saw what he could do in college.
Oh.
We don't really know what Jordan Travis can do. We're just going to hope. We're just going to hand him the reins and say, here,
absolutely
best of luck. There's not like I don't know. I just don't see a bright future. I don't see the next rebuild working. Just like the mess that they're making now it's going to affect the Jets for years to come. They might have some money, but you know what? If the only chance that you could possibly get Garrett Wilson to stay here and Sauce and like that the 2022 class, you got to bring in a hard-nosed, hard-ass head coach. All that they have seen in the NFL is good job, guys. You'll get him next time. Even Ulbrich, we thought that he was that fiery guy.
You need two things, dude. You need two things. You need a legitimate head coach and you need a quarterback. That's what, because then you win. If you don't win, nobody's going to stay. Who's that legitimate quarterback and who's that legitimate head coach next year? They don't have either one of them.
We don't even know if these players can handle that legitimate hard-nosed head coach because just for example, a player like Breece Hall, who they're dancing around giving Braylon Allen more reps when he's dropping passes, not picking up guys in blitz protection, red zone, obviously that's a better option using Braylon, and they're still trying to feed him because he's our number one back. I mean, how is he going to respond if a new head coach comes in and says, no, Braylon Allen, that makes more sense in the red zone?
I think Breece is going to respond to that.
Yep. Well, that's going to be a problem. Like, so if and when he does get traded to like a real team, to a Tomlin, to a Harbaugh, to one of those hard-ass guys, he's going to have the same problem then.
But that's a Breece problem. It's not a Jet problem. Like you got at some point, you need somebody to make an honest assessment of the talent on your team because we've clearly overrated a good portion of this roster.
Yep.
And so, okay, you guys think that Breece is a top running back? He's maybe number 8 or 9 in the NFL. You know what? We can get value for him. Running backs are dime a dozen, and we like Braylon Allen. Garrett Wilson could be a rising star. Could be just a guy. I think he's a good player, but what's he worth in the open market? But like you have to make those like Sauce right now is regressing to the point where he's not tackling. He looks like he doesn't care. He's not working on his craft. It's not a good sign, man.
And they got to separate the team guys versus the me guys. If you're talking about culture and really legitimately figuring this thing out long term, like that's a big part of it also. Who are the guys that are legitimately out there just for themselves versus wanting to turn the thing around as an organization and change the culture?
But the players in the locker room know that they need accountability. They've said it. Rodgers has said it. Quincy Williams has said it. You bring in somebody like a Rex. I'm seeing a lot of John Gruden in the comments. John Gruden's a psychopath. I wouldn't mind him. Like, he's going to freak out on these players. Like, look at his YouTube channel. His board is filled with football.
Great. I love that shit.
I would bring him. I would bring him in. I mean, whatever. Give him a 2-year deal, whatever. I get it. You know, he's probably not going to get you over the. And I get the whole email thing. But players have come back from so much worse than that. I mean, rape, murder. Like, I don't want to get demonetized, but so many players. I'm sure
we've already passed that already.
Mark. Damn.
I'm just saying, like, players have come back from so much worse than what I mean. I'm not defending what he said or anything or the emails, but players have done some bad things too and found a way back into the NFL. So I think if they really want it back, they can make it happen. But you need that hard-nosed head coach that's going to hold players accountable. I mean, obviously, there's a lot of glaring holes on this team, but somebody holding these players accountable, pulling Sauce out. Hey, listen, maybe Eccles, he's
Exactly.
not great, but get in there, Sauce. You're going to sit down and you're going to be embarrassed a little bit.
No, but it's
That's what this
further
team
than that.
needs.
It's you got to make somebody an example. Like Michael Clemens should have been cut a couple weeks ago. He's getting his weekly personal foul. He talks endless shit. He contributes nothing. Like there's no sense of direction with this team where, like, and even Sauce, like they'll never bench Sauce. They'll never bench Aaron Rodgers. They're never going to bench Tyron Smith. They're never going to do any of that.
Clemens, Kinlaw,
Rex
and
Ryan would?
Zerline. All three of those guys, Clemens, Kinlaw, Zerline, they were an issue 2 weeks ago, cost you that game, and all three of them were an issue yesterday. Nothing happens.
And the only way to bring in a first-time head coach like a Ben Johnson, who's not coming here, if you're gonna have all this caps, you got to throw the Jets tax at him. I mean, like a good example, like Kevin, like you're a teacher, right? If they told you like you could make like whatever you make, you're $80,000 a year to stay here, or you can make $500 million and go to like a third world country. The Jets are the third world country, right?
Exactly.
Money does talk. I mean, there's a limited number of spots. You could end up in a better situation, and it comes down to: are you a me coach or are you a team coach? Do you want to win the championship or do you want to be rich as hell, like Adam Gase said?
We haven't seen Woody Johnson demonstrate that he's willing to spend for a head coach. He'll spend on the roster. He'll make the big
only thing he
splashes
hasn't
for social
done.
media. He's never spent on a head coach before.
Nope.
But I feel like he knows that's what he has to do, and that's the thing. He's spent on the roster. Like, why not just spend?
That also involves giving up power, though.
Yep.
Any coach worth a shit is going to want full control. Woody Johnson is not giving that up. That's why no one's going to come here.
Nope.
Money
and power.
Know it's on him. We already know it's on him. But
that's where the problems start. The problems start with him. That's where it always goes.
Yep. If you're going to throw all this money at the roster, why not just get the legitimate head coach to go with it?
Because they won't come here.
I know. It's just this is never going to end.
That's what I'm saying. Why the cycle repeats?
There's no light in the tunnel, and there's no hope. There's not one plan that anybody can give me that I think is actually feasible. It can actually happen. There's not. So there's always gonna be like they're not gonna come here. They're not gonna get paid. They don't want it.
I'm not ready to sit through another rebuild. I mean, we're already going through like we're probably gonna be like a 5-win team, 6-win team at most.
Bro, it's not even Halloween.
I know.
It's not even Halloween. We're having this conversation.
About 2025.
We're gonna be doing draft in 2 weeks.
I can't wait for your interview, so I'll definitely be looking forward to that. Though, but
have a good night, man.
Good night, man.
Have a good night, man.
This show's just killing me tonight. I'm so over this team. I'm over these conversations. Do you know how many of these shows we've had over the last 5-6 years?
Dozens.
My God.
I should just piece together like the first 30 seconds of every losing show that we've done for the last 6 years. It'd be funny.
We're talking rebuilds, quarterback, who's going to be our coach. It never ends.
It really doesn't. It's legitimately the same cycle every 3 to 4 years that just repeats.
New uniforms. Like this is how mad I am. I bought a hat when the Jets beat the Patriots. I'm mad I bought the hat. I want to mail it back to them. Like I don't want my money back. I just want them to have it back. I don't want to see it anymore. Seriously, I'm that angry. I bought this hat. It's pissing me off to no end.
I'm mad that I had a gift card from Christmas. That was the only Jet shit I bought all year. I'm still mad I did that.
Oh, fuck. All right. Yard sale, man.
Where's vacuums?
The tank is back.
We're officially back.
Okay, there we go. Okay.
Where's back?
Yeah. I mean, who could have seen that one coming?
Sadly, a lot of Packer fans did.
No, I mean, I don't know. I kind of saw it coming a little, but whatever.
You were rooting for it.
I mean, I'm not going to say that, but
this is actually a good point. This is actually true. It says sometimes it's a fun game. I'll look up old videos on Let's Talk Jets, and the title will be The Jets Are Disgrace, and guessing what season it's from without looking at the date. That's a really good point.
Let's Talk Jets roulette. Start doing it. We play clips from a random year, and people have to guess what year it's from.
Oh, my God.
That's great. So the reason I'm calling in is because this isn't, as much as I wanted to do a full tank with the schedules and the orders, I don't think we're ready for that yet. because I think it comes down to probably next week, because I really do think that it comes down to basically what's happening with Woody Johnson and what he's going to do with this team. And we don't know that because, you can't get into his mind. But like, the problem is that the Jets are not selling, because my narrative of how I saw things was that Woody Johnson put in a lot of money and a lot of just effort, and this is a win now year. He put in a lot of effort into this team. So essentially, when it wasn't panning out like we talked about, he was really upset. He needs return on this, and he blamed Saleh, and he got him out of there. And now I know, obviously, you could say maybe he was a fall guy, scapegoat, Rodgers wanted him gone, whatever. So with all that being said, if you look at it through my point of view and how I'm seeing it, I don't think he's going to sell, like not sell as in like sell off players. I don't think he's going to give up. Like, there's a part of me that believes he just won't we won't sell at the deadline. We're going to, even if we lose to the Texans, even if we lose, we're not going to buy, but we're just going to stay with what it is and see it through, whether that's for ticket.
Well, then you know what the players should do?
I 1000% agree with you on that.
Well, then what I hope then
has too big of an ego to admit that he made a mistake and that this season is lost and that it's all a failure. His ego is too big to do that.
I hope players ask to be traded then. I hope that players walk into the office, DJ Reed, Conklin, Mike Williams, say, please trade me. I want out of here. Become like that. Just please do us a favor too. Like, DJ Reed deserves better. Let him go somewhere else and win somewhere else. Reddick, don't give a shit. You can go too. Like, I'm hoping they do that.
I mean, yeah. Like, the point of yard sale man here is that I think that they should sell, obviously. They should get rid of pieces. In fact, we were talking about contracts with the last caller. You know what would be the funniest scenario? You saw those rumors about the Vikings looking into Matthew Stafford?
Yep.
Get rid of Rodgers. Trade him to the Vikings. Say, listen, you could go out on top. You could play for the Vikings. That could get some money off the books. I mean, that you should start just getting rid of pieces. And the other problem that I have in general with this whole rebuild, if we're going in, well, we are, but the whole problem I have with that is that people are immediately overlooking Jordan Travis. We haven't seen him play. He hasn't played yet. Like, what's the point? Exactly. What was the point of even drafting him?
It was a 4th round pick. I mean,
well, the point of drafting him was he can sit and watch Tyrod and Rodgers, assuming they're going to play a high level of football. Yeah. He could see how the offense is run and learn from them. Meanwhile, he's watching some of the worst offensive football. He's actually probably regressing just sitting there.
Yeah, maybe
he's going to have to learn a new offense next year.
I mean, maybe it's like a Bryce Young situation or not. Yeah, kind of like Bryce Young. Like we're so bad that if we get a high pick again, we have to take the opportunity to get a quarterback.
Isn't that what we do with Zach Wilson?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's exactly what we do with Zach Wilson. That's correct. Except Darnold, we had like some time at least. It was like 3 years into Darnold, but still, the point basically stands. The only problem now, or at least it's not a problem, to show you how far things have gone, is that if you look ahead at the schedule in the tanking, is that this is to show you how far we've gone. Is that if you look, there are 2 teams that I can see us potentially winning to ruin the tank this year. I only see us winning 2 games the rest of the year, potentially. There is
Jacksonville.
At Jacksonville.
Yep.
Which it depends on which Trevor Lawrence shows up. We could easily get blown out or win. Or the game after that, meaningful December football, the Rams at home. And I could see us losing to the Jaguars, having a great pick, and then from 4 years ago, the Brady Man game, this time at home, we're going to blow it. And it's all going to blow up in our face. Because I could legitimately see us with like pick 2, pick 3. The rest of our schedule is brutal. And because we had such an easy schedule in the beginning of the year, we win almost every tiebreaker except the Patriots. That's the only team but they're going to win again. I'm pretty sure they play Jacksonville.
And they got a quarterback too, so they're all right.
Yeah, that too. I mean,
that Rams game is going to be how LaFleur gets his revenge.
That Rams game is going to be, we're going to have to stream that one. That's going to be high quality. It's going to get the viewing numbers. But I mean, yeah, just for now, we're just going to have to
race the tank.
We're just going to have to wait on this week, see the Texans game. I mean, I know what's going to happen in the Texans
What's there to
game,
see?
but you know, we're going to watch that one. And then Woody Johnson, the good news is he has an extra few days since it's a Thursday night game to think about what he wants to do. And hopefully he does the right thing, but you know, I can't be too sure about that.
Have a good night, man. We're no vacuums. Are they retired?
I mean, I have them, but it's a special occasion. You can't just bust it out of it. What do you think this is?
Well, you don't do requests. That's good. Yeah.
If I got a request in the chat, I'll bust out the
They did. They asked. They said, "Where are they at?"
Where is it? It's fine. I'll get it.
Right there, right here.
Okay.
Are there vacuums below? Should be 3, right? See?
There it is.
Have a good night, man.
Be good, man.
Oh, this is where we're at, man. This is what it's all come down to, prime time.
October, and we're talking 2025.
What's up, man?
I first off, I just want to say I told season ticket holders their plan. I told them you're supposed to go to the stadium with some shit bags and throw it at the fucking stadium. But hey, y'all don't want to listen. Hey, you throw NFL fans forget to realize the Cleveland Browns had to throw stuff at the stadium in order for stuff to change. I'm not admitting to it. I'm not all for it, but damn, we've been suffering for the past 15 years plus. I've been suffering for the past 13 years plus. So you mean to tell me that we can't all just get some shit bags and just throw it at the stadium?
But why even waste our energy going to the stadium? I'd rather stay home and save my gas money. I'd be wasting my money on them again.
I'm not saying you have to drop. Just take the New Jersey path, whatever train you gotta go to. As long as
I'd rather do Billy Madison, like take the bags of shit, set it on fire, and have somebody stomp it out, and just get shit all over the booth.
Because that's the daily product that we're getting. You know, we wasting our time as Jets fans watching this shit show. So why not actually give them a shit show? I bet you want to give us a shit show, we'll give you a shit show. Because,
I think it's easier it's easier to not buy merch, not go to games. Just that's the only way you can actually hurt them and just embarrass them. Like the first thing is an empty stadium or a stadium full of opposing fans, where it's just literally like because right now Woody Johnson hates bad headlines. They're getting just plastered everywhere. Like they're getting roasted today all over the place. And he hates this shit, but now he's got to own it. I like to see that Thursday night. I like to see just a disaster in that stadium.
Exactly, because that's the embarrassment y'all been giving us for over 50 years. Like literally, I literally regret this decision. But I said like as bad as we are, I feel like we could win a few games, and I hope that we do win because I opened my mouth in the Discord channel. But now I have to live up to that statement. Like, yeah, we're gonna beat the Texans, because we got, I have to live up. But me being a Jets fan, knowing damn well we can't even beat the Patriots, it's sickening.
The Jets just beat themselves. It's the only team they're beating.
It's sickening. I mean, what is there really else to say? I mean, I mentioned Keith Carter. Taylor Lewan said he was ass. We retained him.
Bro, all the things we were concerned about going into the year actually happened. But the biggest thing was a healthy Aaron Rodgers can overcome all this. We went through it. A lot of issues on the offensive line, defensive line, a lot of questions. Offensive staff, not that good. We talked about all it. But the answer was no. Aaron Rodgers this, Aaron Rodgers that, Aaron Rodgers this. And here we are.
Because it's crazy. I specifically remember 2 years ago, we were 7-4. Every Jets fan was happy in the world. We just beat the Chicago. Y'all remember that?
Yep. And then they lost 6 in a row. Yeah, of course I remember that.
Yeah, we won a lot of games. And then what ended up happening, unfortunately, we choked because, that's what we've known for in the past 50 plus years. But dang, those were good times. I mean, we can't even think now. We got one of the most talented rosters in the world, and we damn near tied with the damn Patriots. They don't have Aubrey Graham on their team. They got another Drake on their team. That's just, man, come on.
Dude, they're on like their 7th offensive line. They're so the talent disparity in yesterday's game was embarrassing. And the Jets
we were 7-4 with Zach Wilson and Mike White. We were 4-3 last year with Zach Wilson again. How did we get to a place where we're 2-6 with improved talent on paper with Aaron Rodgers? How did we fucking get here?
It just never ends. You can't make it up, dude. You
We
can't make it up.
we can't, and because now we in the position to where we say 7-10 is a good season. So
No. We don't say that. We've never said that.
No,
The
but
Jets try to sell. The Jets try to sell us that, like, oh, we're making progress. You got to see we're one player away. Meanwhile, you're not. We've talked about this every year. It's like they win some fucking bullshit game against the Patriots last year, and they celebrate like it's a playoff game. You won a meaningless game and screwed your draft position and gave Breece Hall 7,000 carries. It was stupid and it was embarrassing, and they celebrated it. That's the Jets culture.
They did. And see, I was thinking about coaches coming here
add up his yards right.
And it's just
that.
They ain't really nobody. Like I was thinking, because see, I'm wearing the color orange, and I was thinking Kevin Stefanski, because I know out in Cleveland they trying to throw him under the bus for not being able to deal with Deshaun Watson, how ineptitude their whole ownership and GM is. But even so, like, if Woody Johnson wouldn't just meddle, I could have seen Kevin Stefanski come in here and maybe shifting the culture, because remember when he went to the Browns, he was able to change that culture.
But the Stefanski isn't the problem. It's Deshaun Watson blew.
Maybe.
Stefanski won. He won with less, and they were so tied to Watson. They had no choice.
They still might fire him because, like I said, the Browns ownership is inept. If we inept as well. The only saving grace for the past 50 years was that Daniel Snyder was that terrible of an ownership that we was literally like.
Yeah, look at them. Look at them now.
That.
One of the most exciting teams in football right now.
Exactly.
That's the funny. Like, you look at all the bad teams, right? For a long time, the Buffalo Bills were a bad team, right? They're bounced back. They're fine. Commanders bounced back. Are fine. The Detroit Lions, the lovable loser Lions, are light years ahead of us. They're one of the best teams in the NFC. Every team has found their day. Houston Texans, we just saw them. They bounced back last year. They got a nice
Bears. Bengals.
Hey man, our own owner is putting us in the Aaron Hernandez challenge each week with all this merch sales and stuff like this. I'm being dead. He's putting us in every single challenge, bro. Like
we can't keep mentioning these things. What are you doing?
How do we get this dark on here?
What is going on? We just never. We can't.
A lot of
all this.
Man,
it's a game. We're gonna
more than a game. It's an attitude.
We haven't had Aaron Hernandez mentioned in 10 years. What are we doing here?
Oh man,
Christ!
I think Jeff fans are officially broken.
I think we're breaking people, man.
I think we're broken.
I think they're broken this whole fan base, man. Bro, it's not even Halloween yet, and we're already here. I can't believe it. Like, another rebuild is coming, and we can't avoid it. But, bro, like, I'm 22, and like, all I've seen my whole Jets fandom is rebuilds. Like, that's all I've seen. Like, Hackenberg, Darnold, Wilson, all of them, and they've all failed. And I've truly gotten to see how inept this organization is. Because when I was 8 years old, last time Jets were in the playoffs with the Rex Ryan years, like, all I knew was winning for like 2 years. And then slowly but surely, they bring you down, and then you really see how inept the organization is.
Yep.
And when you watch the games every week as you get older, you really start to see the problems that they have. And you just keep seeing them every single year. It's the same thing every single year. So that makes me think that the issue is the ownership, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
well, when you see like teams like we talk about the Lions with Dan Campbell truly resurrect their team, the Bengals, they resurrected it with Zach Taylor and Joe Burrow. Like, all these teams found their quarterback, found their coach, and they're finding ways. Even like the Commanders, I mean, all these, it's just wild. And you see the Jets can never, ever get it right. Never. No matter what they do, it's not going to work. It's proven now. They've literally proven it to us.
And the only time they've ever won under Woody Johnson was when, Parcells in his last year when he was like president or whatever the title that he was. He had those 4 first-round draft picks with Pennington and Abraham, Ellis, and Beck.
Ellis.
Got
Yep.
Bernice Cole's that draft as well. So he left the team with a foundation. I think 5 years later, they stumbled on Revis and Debrick and Mangold. So you had a foundation that essentially carried you for about 12 years. And since then, he hasn't been willing to spend the money or give up the power to hire the right people to fix this shit.
Right. I'm just so tired of watching other teams turn around in 1 year, and the Jets, it takes 3-4 years and they fail.
The Houston
the Jets,
Texans.
yeah, but they were a perennial disaster, bro. Nick Casario or whatever was going on with their organization, Deshaun Watson requesting a trade, like their fan base wanted what's his name, Steve McNair, to sell the team.
Yep.
Bro, 1 year, one rebuilding year. They went 4-13 with Lovie Smith. They fired him, got D'Amico Ryans, got CJ Stroud.
Yep.
And they fucking won their division practically. Like, it's unbelievable. I'm tired of watching teams have fun every single Sunday. And every Sunday when we're watching the games, we're just aggravated.
Yep.
Like, you don't even enjoy watching these games. It's just like it's constant aggravation. There's no like you don't look forward to watching the Jets games every Sunday. Like you just like you're scratching and clawing and you're hoping they can maybe squeeze out a win here. And they're struggling to beat the crummiest of teams. And bro, when's the last time this team actually won a must-win game?
Oh, Jesus.
Like, bro, like, how many times have we said over the past few years, like, bro, this is a must-win game. You can't lose this game. If you lose this game, your season's cooked, and they fucking get blown out.
Especially
they
under
lose.
Saleh. And Saleh, they wouldn't even show up. They would just lay down. Remember the Jaguars
How
game?
was
on
that Bears
Thursday?
game that we were just talking about? That was the last time they won a real meaningful.
The Jets and must-win games have been terrible.
Yeah, they never win must-win games. And as far as Ulbrich goes, I mean, it's tough for me to really hammer him because he was thrust into a position that he didn't really know what he was doing, you know. And I don't know if you guys agreed with the decision to fire Saleh. I did, but not this early. I didn't think it should have been done this early. I would have done it like mid-season. But dude, it's so wild how this team has still no leadership. Like, I'm starting to wonder if Saleh's philosophy and his personality kind of rubbed off on Ulbrich after the 3 years that he was with them on the coaching staff. Like
Ulbrich on his entire team.
Excellent point.
Yeah, like when I'm watching the press conferences, Ulbrich is still giving the company lines like Saleh did, making excuses. Not
Wait, hold on. Did you hear him explain why they're not cutting Greg Zuerlein and the account? If anybody hasn't watched,
I didn't watch the press conference. No,
no.
I didn't watch
Do
it.
me a favor. Watch the press conference. Everybody in the chat too. Watch the press conference. And
The one today?
Yes. Listen to him explain accountability with Zuerlein. It is the most embarrassing answer in the history of the New York Jets. Easily the most embarrassing answer I've ever heard in my entire life.
What do you say?
He basically said, accountability is things that you can control. So as long as Zuerlein works hard and does all the right things, he'll stick with him. How about a results-driven business, you moron?
Interesting.
Do you perform?
Very interesting.
Brian, I'm not lying.
Didn't he also use the words that we trust our process in regards to accountability?
No, there's no way he said that. Really?
Watch
99%
the press
certain that,
conference.
yes.
I'm
Oh
telling
my
you.
goodness, man.
Dude, I watched it. I had rage. I'm like, you know what? I'm not going to give into this because I'm good. I was going to do a video right then. I'm like, this is the exact problem of the New York Jets.
Yeah, bro. Like the problem is I feel like the problem the last 10 years is like they don't have this winning pedigree. They don't have this, like the team is not held to a standard the way the Chiefs or the Ravens or
You know who that starts with?
the owner. Yeah.
Because the owner has never given a playoff mandate in the last 5 years. It was like,
No.
I just want to see the team improve. I
Not
just
even
wanna see
this
the team-
year.
But right prime time, every time they press Woody Johnson, is like, you know what? I'm looking for some improvement and this and that. You know, I don't put a number on it. It should have been make the fucking playoffs or shit's gonna go down. Make the demand back. He never demanded better. It's like, all right, don't worry. Like we'll be fine. Trust the process. Buy your uniform. Buy your new jerseys. Buy your new all the decals.
Yeah, I mean, like they're not held to a standard the way like these winning organizations are, bro. Like if the Chiefs are 6-1 and they lose one game, bro, they're pissed off. They're fuming in the locker room, and the next week is a must-win game no matter what because they have to maintain their standard, right?
Bro,
the Jets don't have a standard. They lose 3 games in a row and they're complacent. Like nobody gives a fuck.
Andy Reid will literally leave the sideline and go talk to an offensive lineman or something else. Be like you literally see him like, what is going on here? Like addressing it right like that. The Jets wait like 3 weeks to have the conversation. Like, you know what? We're going to work through this, which is evidenced by the kicker.
standard here because they give themselves too much time to try to fix all these things during the season instead of fixing them during training camp or during practices, you know?
And
Like-
they've shown they can't handle success and they can't handle adversity. Like a team like the Ravens, who started 0-2. I don't know anybody that was worried about the Ravens and the rest of their season. We all knew they were going to figure it out.
Yeah, exactly.
They have the winning pedigree. They have the culture. They have the coach. They have the quarterback. They've been doing it year in, year out. They're all on the same page. Like you knew they were going to figure that shit out. The New York Jets, when they win, they can't handle it. When they lose, they go in the fucking tank.
Okay, because this team is not a team. They're a group of individuals who only care about their stats and their individual performances. You know, Sauce and Brees are posting on social media their outfits walking into the stadium, and that's none of my business. But like, it's so frustrating that they're just complacent. I mean, I don't know if they're complacent. I bet they all want to win, like of course, but they don't.
But they don't believe is the problem.
No, they don't have the camaraderie of a team that really wants to do things.
Everybody
You know,
wants to win. Everybody wants to win.
Yeah.
I don't think everybody's willing to put in the necessary work to become winners, though.
Or they don't believe in the program. They don't believe that they don't have the ability to win based on the coaching staff or the process or the scheme. Like, you know, like we talked about this. We've been like, when you played sports, you've played for coaches that you know weren't very good. And you're like, you play, but you know, like, we have no chance. Like, we're not well coached. This guy's a clown. Like, you know it. And at some point, you're like, oh, and then like, if you talk about it last year, say, you know what, Keith Carter's not a really good coach. Hackett's not a good coach. Downey's not a good coach. And the Jets say, shut up and do your job. They're coming back next year. You know what? I'm going to sit back and just do my job, and that's all I'm going to do. That's exactly what we saw this year.
You show up,
Do you guys- yeah.
check and you go home. Yep.
do you guys think that the players know how bad the organization is, or are they just oblivious?
1,000%.
Yeah, they have to, right? I mean,
They talk with other players. They absolutely know the difference.
This is
Yeah,
not,
but like,
this is not a 1 year thing. It's going to 15 years.
yeah, like when I'm watching the game, that they just look disinterested. Like they're walking out of the huddle, like nobody's clapping when they come out of the huddle. I don't know if you noticed that. Like very rarely do they clap when they come out of the huddle.
Dude,
Like,
Devontae Adams talked about it. He's like, Brees Hall had a 60-yard run. Nobody's even excited for him. Like, yeah, good job, whatever. Nobody
No,
cares.
but nobody's picking each other up after they like
Think about a guy
take
like
a late
CJ
hit or
Wilson. He
something.
spent 5 years in Baltimore, and now he's been here for 6 years. Think about that difference.
Dude, I feel bad for Mosley, man. Mosley has been through Gase, Saleh, and now Ulbrich. He's been through essentially 2 rebuilds, about to be 3 rebuilds. You know, he's a player who plays his heart out every single week, and like he's the heart and soul of the defense, or used to be. And he's all he knows is losing. I'm surprised he hasn't requested a trade. You know?
Well, now he's hurt. I think he may be done for the year, to be honest with you. He's got like a neck injury now.
Yeah,
He may make a business choice too, but you know, I sit the rest of this year out and get healthy and go somewhere else next year.
yeah,
You're going to see a lot more of that in the next few weeks.
Yep.
yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know when the pain's gonna end, but thanks for having me on, guys. Appreciate it.
Later,
Good
dude.
call, man.
See you, man.
Yeah. The pain doesn't end. This is probably the I'm broken, dude. They finally did it to me. Like finally, after like all the shit, this is it for me.
Tonight is probably the last night that they are going to elicit any kind of emotional reaction from me the rest of the year. Like barring Woody Johnson, like stepping out of line, doing something stupid like he usually does. I can't imagine, at least for a game, getting emotionally invested anymore the rest of the year.
And they're lucky as shit the Yankees are choking right now, because then that's gonna be the biggest story is the Yankees in the World Series. Like if the Yankees were in the World Series right now, the storyline would be so much bigger because like the Jets would be the biggest story in New York. How bad they are, the underachieving Jets. So
What score of that game?
Was it 3? It was 2-3-0. So I can
Oh,
see.
it's not bad.
That's over. I think it is 3-0, right? All right, Eric, what's up, man?
What's up, guys? How are you guys today?
Been better.
Wonderful.
What a show, man. This is
a
dark,
one.
man.
This is a dark one.
Name dropping all kinds of stuff, man. This is a very
We've never done this path before.
It's all good. I find it funny though, but
I'm not sure it's so good, but it happened.
this I don't know, man. Fucking I can't wait when you guys stream the Texans game, bro. Like you guys gotta wear like the mask and you gotta have the bingo cards. You gotta go ham, dude, because that's literally gonna be fitting. That game is on Halloween because that truly is when the season like ends. Because there's no way. But
Halloween party.
Oh,
What we got?
I was watching you guys' stream for a little bit, and it was like what 2 a.m, passed out, and then I woke up to Tyson literally saying this team is fucking shit, and it's just like, oh, I guess we lost. So,
It was
You got a
bad.
headset throw yesterday too.
I was
And
pissed
I haven't
yesterday.
had one of
it
those in a
was
while.
funny because I every time I know this is the first sign I could tell when the game is going shit is when Tyson legit says, "You've got to be fucking kidding me." Oh my god, that's the one thing I'm looking forward to all the time. Even though like
Because,
I
like,
want
you-
us to win.
And I think we
It's
got
so
one of
good.
those in the first quarter after all the timeouts.
Dude, yeah, I
and
think
shit,
you were like this, like that the whole time. So I was
Because
fucking
dude, it was like
cracking
it
up.
was the most incompetent football we've ever seen, like wasting timeout. Then they go for 2-point conversion, they get a delay game. Like you could
Yeah.
there's just no way you can make it up. Like it's another level of incompetence, and that's saying a lot. We've already dealt with Gase and Todd Bowles, and it's just
This team is like every year it's something like you've never seen before. I have never seen a football game where you exhaust all 3 timeouts in the first quarter. That's like if you first pick up like a Madden game and you're just trying to figure out the controls or some shit.
Bro, and they
you're just
said-
like, what's this button do?
But the worst thing is, these were the scripted plays. The scripted plays, Mike Williams didn't know where to stand. That's
That's
what you practice.
Yeah, no, that's so
wild.
fucking bad, bro. The coaching is just so trash. What's funny, like I was listening to the Aaron Rodgers press conference, and he's like, "Yeah, you got to embrace the darkness. I've been in the darkness this whole time." It's like, then why the fuck did you even come to the Jets? Then you should have fucking retired. Like, I don't want to be in the darkness with you, dude. Take your peyote and just go somewhere else if that's the case,
We've
dude.
been in the
Like,
darkness for 15 years.
it's crazy as fuck, man. Like,
Well, I'm sure you saw the stat also. Teams were like 750-0 when holding teams under 250 yards and not turning the ball over. Now 751. Here come the New York Jets.
dude, the fucking commentators were roasting the Jets, dude. I was like listening to that. I'm like, this is so bad. Like, how do you go in good faith, like just bringing out this shit product for us to watch, man? It's so tempting to just leave this fan base and become a fan for another team, and I refuse to do it.
But I think this is the first time that Woody Johnson is going to actually experience the Jet fan revolting and not buying tickets. Because Jet fans have been they're ridiculously loyal. Look at Primetime Show, a very loyal fan. I've gotten so many messages that are saying, you know what, I'm finally done. Like, I'm not renewing my tickets. And the thing is, like, even like Jay, it's a family thing. Like, they've had tickets in their family's name for years, 30, 40 years. It's like a family tradition. We go to Jet games on Sundays. Fans like, you know what? Fuck you. We're done. And that's when Woody Johnson finally gets his eyes open. Like, you know what? We just lost 20,000 season ticket holders.
My dad is so broken now that he's a Redskins fan, and he's like, you should just pick a different team. I'm like, I can't. As tempting as it is, it's like I feel wrong wearing another team's colors. Like, I'd rather watch a game, you know, where it's
I'm
like
not a fan of another team. But
Dude, we all
as
say the
far as
same shit.
spending money, you don't need to spend your money on the team.
We all say the same shit. I'm never going to watch again. I hate this team. And Thursday night, we're all going to watch. But I think we're just more numb now. We're like, you know what? We know they're relevant. We're not going to buy their jerseys. We're not going to go to games.
We talk about being rock bottom, but it's like I almost kind of wish we just get an 0-16 or 0-17 season out of the way. Just hit truly rock bottom and just build our way up.
A few years ago,
like no, we have like one or two wins.
We just
like
went
we haven't
through,
reached.
we already went through a tank.
Yeah, they tanked right for 14 weeks.
I'd rather just get it out of the fucking way. So then it's like, what else can they do to us at this point? Because it's like we bought into this bullshit. We got Aaron Rodgers and everything like that, and it's like, how do you fuck that up?
This should be
like how. You should have fired the fucking coaches. You guys all say it. The fucking players, even players from other teams are like, yo, get rid of Keith Carter. He's fucking trash. Hackett sucks. And the ego and not hurting. Dude, is this not a man's sport? I don't care about your fucking feelings, dude. If you're not performing, sit on the bench. You're getting paid a lot of money anyways. Think about what you're doing wrong. And if you want to fucking play, you better put your fucking heart on the field. It's not fucking hard. But for them, it's like, let me be a Twitch streamer. Let me do all this shit. Bro, I don't give a fuck about that. You're playing sports. You're representing us. You need to go out there and fucking perform.
Well, that's the problem. A lot of these guys, even though they weren't winning, were getting a lot of accolades and all pro and this and that. They thought they arrived. Like, oh, we arrived. We can just do it.
I don't give a fuck about that. You come to this team, it's a brand new fucking start. CJ Mosley, fucking Nick, he said it perfectly. That dude has went through so many contract restructures hoping that something was going to stick. That man embodies the Jets. Like, to me personally, my favorite. I thought Sauce Gardner was, but the sacrifices CJ Mosley has done.
What is Sauce Gardner? Wait, Sauce Gardner's done nothing for the Jets.
Like, just because when people were comparing him, I've heard it before. People were comparing him to like Revis and stuff. I like CJ Mosley's mentality. Like, I felt like he's given a lot to the team personally.
Dude, Sauce is not in the same stratosphere as Revis, man.
But now the argument, like, you can't even compare him to it anymore. You can't. Like, I look at the person who sacrificed like so much, and it's like CJ Mosley is like one of the better Jets, like for what he's done for the team, and it's like all he's seen is losing. Gase, fucking Robert Saleh, Ulbrich, like. And now he's hurt, you know, like
he doesn't have any more gas in the tank. He's getting older, man, and it's sad for some of these players because it's like DJ Reed. I wish he could stay here, but I don't blame him for leaving. Like these guys, some of these guys give a fuck, and it's like I'd rather just send them to a team and reward them for what they've done for
That's
us.
what I'm saying. I'd trade Moses to a winning team if he's healthy. DJ Reed, Conklin, let him go somewhere else and flourish. I don't care.
I was supposed to go to Thailand earlier this year. I got put on a random debt. Now I got my ticket and everything. I was hoping to watch Jets playoffs games at one of the sports bars I found. I'm still going. I'm getting wasted, and I'd rather watch something else. I'm like looking forward to that shit. Like it's cheap. I'm gonna enjoy tropical paradise and everything. But I was hoping I could watch my team during the fucking playoffs, but that's not fucking happening. So I don't know.
Life without the Jets.
That's right.
Nah, dude, seriously, man. And the Yankees are choking too. So this is kind of rough. Like, man, the Mets put up more of a fight against the Dodgers and the fucking Yankees. Like,
I think Judge just hit a double though, didn't he? Judge hit a double. So.
Like, damn, man. Like, I wish the Mets were in there right now because the Yankees not performing, and I love the Yankees. Damn, man. Like, we're getting our ass kicked.
Let's not talk World Series here.
Yeah,
Thanks for calling, man. We appreciate it.
We love Aaron Hernandez. Just kidding.
Later, dude.
You good, man. Stay safe.
This show's been off the rails, man. Stanton hit a double. I thought that was Judge. I can't see the TV from here. The light's in my eyes. Well, Chisholm, they can't do anything. All right. What's up, Bubs?
Hey, how's it going?
What's up?
You're outside the Jets. How's life? Personal life? Doing good. Yeah, nothing's going right. Yankees.
Are you trying to give us small talk right now? Are you trying to small talk us?
No.
We know we're all miserable.
Yeah. I'm broken, but it's terrible. I don't know, man. That New England game was pretty numb the whole game. I feel like at the end of the game I got like my last rage out, and then that was it. And now it's meaningless. It's like tanking. I mean, who even cares at this point? It's just so frustrating. Like, I'm so sick of losing, so sick of rebuilding every single year. Like, this isn't supposed to happen every single season. Like, I always go back, right? We look at the 2022 draft class. I was just kind of like looking around today and looking at Douglas's pretty 29-62 record as a general manager. And like, we can all sit here and talk about that draft class and that and all that. And that hasn't helped us at all. It hasn't done anything. I mean, Sauce has been a disaster. There's no way you're paying him $30 million after this season. He's lazy. He's given up. I mean, he doesn't want to be out there. But you look at the 5 teams that picked in the top 5 that year. 4 of them have made the playoffs since, and all 4 of them have won a playoff game except the Jets. And I know that the Jaguars and the Giants aren't good right now. They're playing poorly. But the fact that all 4 out of the 5 teams have won a playoff game and got to the playoffs, and the Lions and the Texans is a good chance that might be the Super Bowl this year, is just sad. Like, another reminder that rebuilds are not supposed to last for 10, 12, 14 seasons. They're not. And this is just why it's like rock bottom, because they've tried everything. They have tried everything. They tried the young, the offensive mind and the, the young quarterback with Darnold. They tried the CEO type guy with Saleh, failed on him miserably. He was not anywhere close to that. They tried the rookie quarterback again with Zach. It failed. Now they've gone all in. Like, this was the last button Rodgers. This was the last button Joe Douglas and this franchise could have pushed. This was it. This was the last thing they could have done, was to go all in for Aaron Rodgers and finally get a quarterback for what we thought was a young team that was going to be the core for a very long time. And here we are. We have a washed up Rodgers. I mean, I still think he's trying to get the playoff. I mean, it's just it's a disaster. And there's no hope. There's no hope because Rodgers. I do not want Rodgers back next year. I don't. You just gotta move on. Like, he's cooked. He's shot. They got to blow the whole thing up.
You think Woody's going to try to sell it coming back again? What is trying to convince him to come back?
We sold it this year. There's nothing more to sell. They should have, if we're being honest, they should have blew the whole thing up last year. And we said that a couple times on the show, that even if it meant losing Rodgers, they should have fired Saleh, fired the offensive coaching staff, blew it all up last year. They should have done it. And
the red flags were there.
Yeah, and they didn't. And the same old Jets was bringing Saleh back, firing him 5 weeks in. Really, same old Jets would just be keeping Saleh right now. Look, Saleh is not good. Like, I know people are saying, oh, it's the wrong move to fire Saleh, but let's not sit here and think that the Jets right now would be 5-3 with Saleh. Nope. They weren't good with Saleh. They're not good without Saleh. They're not a well-coached team.
It didn't bother you though that move came from Woody Johnson and not somebody with like direct knowledge of what's going on in that locker room. Like it wasn't Joe Douglas. It wasn't like Woody consulted with players, and it was him making a decision based on what exactly? What does he know about football to make that move?
Well, it's a panic. It's meddling. It's a panic move.
But or it just showed that Joe Douglas wasn't holding anybody accountable either. Joe Douglas was complacent. He was content with what he saw.
He's a
when
puppet.
Things were not good.
The whole front office right now is a puppet. There is not a single guy in that front office right now that is actually doing work.
Nope.
And that's the problem too. You have a trade deadline coming up. You're going to have a general manager trading for assets that he's not even going to use.
Bingo.
That
or not doing it to save his ass and try to save
Yep.
the season. But like, you know what? I don't want to end my career at the Jets 3-14. I want to be 7-10 and make it look a little bit better so I can do something. That's my concerns. Everybody trying to save their ass when put guys here that don't care anymore because it's just it's such a bad situation, man. It's so bad.
When was the last time anyone has even seen or heard from Joe Douglas? We're being honest here.
He should have a press conference coming up. He usually does one at the bye week every year. If he lasts to the bye week. And sometimes I think he might do them after the deadline, but he never speaks.
He should be fired now.
He speaks. They should fire him now. Honestly, help him out. You look at Saleh, he's got a gig now in Green Bay, part-time role. Let Douglas get a 3-month head start on figuring out where he's going to go because he's not coming here back next year.
Nope.
And I don't want to hear that Douglas, he's not any good. Like they need to tear the whole thing down. And you know, that's the outcome. That's the trickle-down effect from a failed all-in move. You need to blow it up. You need to tear it down. And I don't even know who's going to want to come here. I don't know who's going to want to come here. I mean, I wasn't on board with a while back, like last year when we were talking about if they would fire Saleh. I wasn't really on board with being a Rex back. I'm probably more on board with being a Rex back now, but
we have no choice.
Yeah, we're
all slowly accepting it's going to
happen. Yeah, exactly.
He's the only guy that actually wants the job.
We need to hire on offense. Yeah. The only thing with Rex is you make a good point. He's gonna want a team that can win now. He's not gonna want to sit through a rebuild. In my opinion. That's probably because he's I don't know. And Vrabel's not gonna come here, but they're not gonna I don't want the next hot coordinator. You gotta tank. They'll win meaningless games. When they're playing meaningful football in December, they don't win. But when they're playing meaningless
the only thing this team is going to do this year is ruin our draft position. That's it.
Yeah, they'll find a way to. They'll be like 3 wins going into December. They'll go like 3-1 in December, get to like 6 wins, and they'll go from like the 3rd pick in the draft to like number 11, and they'll completely fall out of drafting a quarterback. And we'll have a Tyrod Bridge year, and we'll have to look towards.
You know what I love about this? Because look at how Bubs has evolved over the last couple of years. He was just like that. They've broken him. They've literally broken you, dude. They've broken your demeanor's changed, your attitude has changed, your mindset has changed. You're like a veteran Jet fan now. Like you've come full circle. You're like an established member of the same old Jet fan club now. You're here.
Mm-hmm.
I should do like a then and now of Bubs.
You're just battered and bruised at this point, bro. Your whole, even like your shoulders, your head, your head's down. It's like
I bought in this year. I bought in out at training camp. It was great. They look good. I bought in. I said I wouldn't after last year, but I did because we all got the sickness. We can all say, "Oh, I'm done with this team." We'll all be sitting there on Thursday watching the game. We won't care. We're not going to be raging at the TV anymore, but we'll all be sitting there. We'll all watch the game. We'll all get maybe some laughs out of it. And it's a sickness. This organization rooting for this team, it's insanity. It's doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result. I mean, that's what it is. 14 years, and they can't. You see all these teams start to run laps around them. You got the Texans have a quarterback. The Bills, obviously, they've been good now for 5-6 years. They've owned the division.
The Bills have won the AFC East by Halloween. I mean, it's just
too much.
Yeah, the Dolphins can't even win with Tua, so they got no hope either. But
Dolphins are in the same boat right now as us, pretty much.
Yeah, they're beat up too, injuries and just all kinds of things going on there.
Yeah, and Ulbricht's press conference today was brutal. Accountability is controlling the controllables. And then he goes, and then they ask him about like a straight up, like It's not that difficult. Just cut the guy. He stinks. He's not any good. It's not that hard. And that's the same thing too with Clemens. It's not that difficult. Bench him. I don't know why Michael Clemens is still on this team. I do not know why. And don't even get me started with Kinlaw. Put that under a long list of Joe Douglas free agency bust signings. I mean, that's been a complete disaster. Neither of them have shown up all year. But I don't know what they were like. So is Greg your kicker? Is he going to try out? And he's like, I'm just looking forward to like a good week.
We got to see the open competition first.
They have to prep him because there'll be
they gave him like 3 different ways to say Greg's not going to be here, and he was trying like, well, because like is he a part of the competition? Well, we want to see how they compete. Like, dude, he should have been cut last night.
He should have been cut weeks. They should, if we're being honest, and they wouldn't. He should have been cut in training camp.
100%.
But they didn't. He should have been cut after Denver. You know what's weird? It's like the football gods multiple times like give the Jets hint to like do things and they never do them. Like we got the hint multiple times last year. Fire Saleh. We got the hint when the Jets started 1-7 to fire Gaze. What did they do? They went on a 6-2 run and they're like, oh no, bring him back. Everything's all right. But what they're prepping now is they got the kickers going to MetLife tomorrow, which makes no sense.
Could you imagine what that's going to look like? Like what are they possibly?
They're prepping them.
Best of 5. Whoever gets the most wins the job.
I want to go and just cover it. I wish we can just go watch.
You get to win the kicking duties and you get play calling.
And meanwhile, then in practice you don't kick at all. So it's a good job to have.
They're prepping them. They're kicking inside and empty MetLife on Tuesday, and they're going to be kicking inside an empty MetLife on.
You know, it's funny. A friend of mine went to the Jet Patriot game yesterday, and he's like, even in the warm-ups, like they don't do a lot of warm-ups in kicking, dude. It's like he's like the Patriot kicker because they went to the Patriot game and the Steeler game, and he's like the Steeler game. Boswell's kicking the entire time, like kicking, always working. He's like, Jet kicker doesn't do it. He's like, what does Zerline do? I'm like, I don't know, bro. Like that's the results we get.
I mean, let's be honest. What does the team do during the week other than just post social media clips of Hassan Reddick walking onto the field and Devontae Adams and Rodgers going on together?
This is a really good point. This is where I'm a little surprised with Rodgers. I guess my expectations for him were way too high. Where when you watch the film breakdowns from Orlovsky and Brian Baldinger, the fundamental mistakes they're making on offense, I think my stupidity assumed that he helped clean that up. Like, no. This blocking assignment's not going to work. This ain't going to work. I thought he'd have a much bigger role where things wouldn't happen. And instead of he's an innocent bystander, like, yo, not my problem. That's a you problem. Not like I'm surprised by that.
You could almost say these things are happening more often because he's so like fine detailed with where everyone needs to be, how they need to run their routes. You need to specifically be here. Like he's very detail oriented and just nobody's on the same fucking page with him at all.
Nope, nobody.
No. And I think some of the audible stuff too is like he's trying to be the offensive coordinator. That's what he's trying to do, or not the audible, the play clock stuff. And then the other yesterday in the press conference, he was trying to fix the coverage. I think also part of him realizes his mobility shot. He's trying to be perfect because he can't move and he doesn't trust his offensive line, which I wouldn't either. And they got to bench Tyron Smith. His 80-year-old terrible plays got to take a hike.
Out of his stance half the time.
And isn't he getting paid per game also? Isn't that how they structured the contract? Isn't he getting paid per game? Isn't that how they structured his contract? So like, can't he save money if he's inactive at this point?
Yeah, I know it's incentives list. I think they certain amount of games hit, certain amount of snaps that I think it was. It was like what, up to 20 million incentives or something like that.
He was getting paid like per start.
It might be. Yeah, because he did there was playtime incentives in there.
14 million he could earn based on how much he played.
Yeah. I don't know, man. It's just there's no hope. There's no hope other than tank. We're gonna be. We haven't even dusted off the Halloween costumes, and it's October, and we're talking about January, and they're gonna. I mean, I'll be honest. I was like, Tankathon is all fired up again, and it's just so sad. We gotta, get ready. The Cam Ward, Shadur Sanders. That's where we're headed. That's where we're headed.
Yeah, the next quarterback that will ruin.
Yeah,
it's paid per down. It's not per first down. He'd be broke. So,
do we have any faith in Jordan Travis?
No.
At this point, what does sitting behind Rodgers even do? You're just watching an old.
What is he learning this year with this offense? He's not learning anything. He's learning all the things you shouldn't do.
He's just learning how incompetent this franchise.
Reset next year anyway, because there's gonna be a new offensive coordinator. He's gonna learn a new offense. So next year is gonna be his true rookie year, where he's probably not gonna play anyway.
I'll be honest. One more question, and I'll hop off because I know it's getting late. I don't want to keep you guys, but would you? And I know this might sound wild.
Uh-oh.
Would you trade Sauce?
Depends what the offer is.
If it's like, would you trade him for a first?
Yes, I would. Because you got to look at the way I look at it like this. I don't like what he's doing right now in terms of his body. He's maybe he's complacent. He's not getting his best effort, and there's been legitimate film analysis of him saying he's not working on his craft. So he thinks he's arrived.
And
so now you have to get, and he wants to be the highest paid cornerback in the NFL. Is he a building block of your team right now?
You cannot pay him $30 million. No chance. You got to save that money for Garrett and other guys, and maybe tag Brees. But I will say this about Sauce.
Brees, what?
No, I'm saying they might. They might.
Why? Why would you tag Brees?
I'm not agreeing with it. I'm just saying they might.
Wait,
but
what?
Tag Brees, they might. I don't know.
Brees is out, dude. He's gonna be another one gone. Brees will be gone.
So you out of Jermaine and Garrett,
as to work on a trade.
Unless if Garrett asks out. Garrett probably will ask out.
He probably will ask out. He's
Jermaine, but Jermaine's hurt. I mean, I don't know. They already paid Quinn. I don't know.
We don't even know who the GM's going to be that's making the call.
I mean, of all of them, you can see Garrett wanting out because he's going to want a top. He's want top money and a top quarterback. He'll be gone. You're not going to pay big money to Brees. You just let Braylon could step up, right? Sauce is the one, but I'm just shocked by Sauce, dude. I thought he'd step up in times like this.
Same.
You could see a scenario in 2 to 3 years where this entire roster from Sauce, Garrett,
the whole core is
everybody
gone.
completely different.
The whole 2022 score is gone. Yeah. And that's the thing. They had their 2 years of fame. Remember, they were burning the cheeseheads for Rodgers. They had, they were accolades, like you guys said. They thought they made it, and now they're here, and it doesn't matter. But the Sauce thing kind of feels like it would feel like he's not Jamal Adams, but it would feel like Jamal Adams trade kickstarted this whole rebuild, which failed. This Sauce trade would kickstart the next rebuild that'll probably fail.
I mean, it's going to be. If you look at it, it's a pretty big rebuild though, because there's going to be a lot of pieces you got to replace.
It's a monstrous rebuild. I'll be like 30 by the time the next time this team gets to the playoffs.
Well, you could say they have more resources to try to deal from now, as far as getting draft picks back.
Yeah, well, they've got young guys that other teams would be interested in.
Last time around.
Yeah, start giving them to them,
man. No,
Bubs, good talking to you, man.
Yep, you guys as well. Have a good one.
You too.
Have a good night, man.
I expected a wild show. This one caught me off guard a little bit.
I mean, it was pretty wild at times.
Oh man! So I guess we're gonna stream this Thursday night game, huh?
Let's do it. Halloween party.
All right. Do I have to stay sober?
No, not at all.
Okay, good. So I'm not gonna even try. I've been trying to be better to get a coherent video post game app. I give up doing that now.
I would not expect you to stay sober for the stream at all.
So. Speaking of people that have been broken by the Jets, that man right there, Ian, for the first time, almost cursed in his last video. I saw it. It was on the tip of his tongue where he's like,
let it out. Feel better. You'll feel better, man. Just let it out.
It's funny because he's like the professional, not one curse word. I just can't stop. It's the complete opposite. That's why I'm happy over here where we can just be chaos.
Yes. They bring it out of us.
So we're going to stream Thursday night? Oh.
Yeah, let's do it.
Man. All right.
Halloween party stream.
Yeah. Well, again, thank you guys for joining us. We definitely appreciate it, especially with all the support on the streams, on our videos. It's been wild, man. We definitely appreciate it. Thursday night, we'll be back. Oh, wait, but who's making a bingo board for us?
I'll do it.
We need a legitimate bingo board. Yeah, it's true. Yeah, it's just true. It's bad.
Liberty.
So, thank you guys for joining us. We appreciate it. We'll see you on Thursday.
Have a good night.